trees flashing by my side, my side. We're far ahead. The horizon never seems so close. The sky is red. We're not out of the woods yet, you know. Don't stop. In your eyes, I see a fire lighting up as we're getting away. There's no going back, and I'm holding the chase. Where you go, I follow. We're not giving up, never hitting the brakes. There's no going back, and I'm holding the chase. In your eyes, I see a fire lighting up as we're getting away. There's no going back, and I'm holding the chase. Where you go, I follow. We're not giving up, never hitting the brakes. There's no going back, and I'm holding the chase. We're not giving up, never hitting the brakes. There's no going back, and I'm holding the chase.
Okay. Do good, do great, and they talk bad on you. No need, no face, cause they're not factual. I won't stay too long here, I'm just passing through. I might hit the bank and get a bag or two. My mama asked me why you got that cash on you. Second you switch up, they might get mad at you. No, you're not my friend, so no, I'm taxing you. You're all like my sons, I'm going dad on you. Okay, good job, good job. Get mine, no prob. Hit my line, you're irking me. I hit that woosah. No, I don't got perks on me. I sleep good on God. Spend that money, make it reappear. Ta-da. I've been getting paid. I've been eating good. I've been putting on some weight. If I got a problem, I just call my brother Babe. This is like a warning shot to get up out my face. This is like a warning shot to get up out my way. This is like a warning shot to get up out my lane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the 7. My girl said I'm a dog, but all dogs go to heaven. Thank the Lord when I wake. I've been sleeping like a baby, cause I know my paper's straight. Another day to the grave. I get it cause I got to. I got kids, I need to bang. Thank the Lord when I wake. I've been sleeping like a baby, cause I know my paper's straight. Another day to the grave. I get it cause I got to. I got kids, I need to bang. I've been getting paid. I've been eating good. I've been putting on some weight. If I got a problem, I just call my brother Babe. This is like a warning shot to get up out my face. This is like a warning shot to get up out my way. This is like a warning shot to get up out my lane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the 7. My girl said I'm a dog, but all dogs go to heaven.
G'day everybody! Welcome to the Octane Online Racing GT3 Sprint Series. Apparently we're going to have to change that one up because we're actually at Brazil for
There we go.
21's Octane Online Racing Legend Series. We came from Australia last week and boy oh boy, what a Sunday did we have. Tom Riley, welcome to you.
Good evening, JC. Good evening, everyone. How are we this evening?
Everyone in chat is fired up. I give you the tip. We're all very excited after, as I said, a very eventful weekend, both in Tier 2 and Tier 1 last week. So
what a weekend that was.
It was just
insane.
crazy, wasn't it? We had to filter through all sorts of pens to get the results, and it's still not quite sorted out yet. So that's when you know it was an eventful weekend. And so we move on to Brazil. 25% races per tier, 4 races in total brought live to you tonight by yours truly and Tom Riley. And we love these sprint races, Tom. We love the reverse grid.
We absolutely do. It brings a little bit of unknown, especially towards the end of that first race, not knowing who's going to be where. Certainly the battles we've had the last couple of super sprint rounds have been enjoyable, to say the least.
Speaking of unknowns, welcome to the grid, Jesse McLean in the Ferrari, and I believe we also have Raj Sandhu with us in an Alpine. So a couple of new names tonight. Raj, obviously an OOR favourite, much loved, has been around the grid before. Joe Williams is also in there. That's another new name I'm spotting. So there's 3 new drivers to mix up here, Tier 2 tonight. And as I said, a couple of those, Joe Williams and Raj, we know a lot about. And Jesse McLean, the new driver, interested to see how he goes. Hello to those in chat. Travis Murdoch's in there. He should be on track. Not sure what he's doing in chat. Elite Alex, love to see you. Alex Bowen always in chat. Hello Reethy. Reethy's in chat. He'll be here supporting Jesse McLean. A few others as well. Good to see you again. Out on track now. It is dry weather for qualifying, Tom, but it does look very cloudy.
It does, doesn't it? It looks a little bit overcast, but we've seen that in the last couple of weeks as well. A little bit of overcast weather, a little bit cloudy, and there's cars going out on track just to get the cider in. But I'm sure, I think it looks like it'll probably be dry given what we've seen, but it is Brazil. So if Codemasters can do anything right, I think getting the weather right in Brazil would be up there, being very variable.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I always fear coming to this track as a driver in this game because, yeah, Codemasters do get that right. It is a high percentage chance of rain here in Brazil, so that's why we love it as spectators, that's for sure. Adriel Sayre will put in the very first lap of the night in the Haas with a loose ass, but managing to hold on to the ass very nicely through Sector 1, looking nice and clean through that, so good start to proceedings for him. Also looking forward to chatting to you tonight, Tom. You're a very technical man and you're right into your F1s, and there's a couple of new cars we've spotted this week, so we won't get into them just yet because I don't want to probably do one per split. I think there was 4 released. McLaren have done theirs and Aston Martin have come out with theirs. There's a couple out. Haas have done theirs. So looking forward to hearing your thoughts on those.
I certainly think if we keep the Aston Martin and the McLaren until Tier 2, I think that's probably the way to go. Because, Tier 1 I should say, because they're very different. I would say that the Red Bull and the Haas are more like show cars. They're not giving too much away, but of course we've seen the Aston Martin on track. If you've been on YouTube, Aston Martin's been shaken down. I think the McLaren's going to be shaken down soon as well. So it will be very interesting to see. Is this a slipstream I'm seeing? It is.
A little bit of teamwork,
it's a marginal slipstream.
Yeah, it wasn't probably close enough to get much benefit from it, was it? But the idea was there from the teammates. And Adriel didn't put in the fastest lap, so I don't know whether he invalidated his or whether this is his now. But we're seeing a couple of times come in.
Where would you invalidate on this circuit? Would it be exit of... I can't even remember what corner that is. Exit of turn 1, 2, 3, 4. Exit of turn 4.
Yeah, that exit there is a great place to pick one up if you're pushing too hard through there.
What times are we likely to see tonight? I don't even know.
We'll definitely dip into the 6s. again, you're usually the man in the sheds. I was expecting you to come out and quote some
I
times for me, but
I haven't heard much this week.
Alex Bowen, you're in chat. You're our man.
Travis
Speak French
Murdoch
to me, baby.
has retired.
Oh dear, and without a lap as well. So that's no good for our man Aussie Donkey.
No, absolutely not. That's not ideal. Looks like there's going to be a bit of McLaren work here. McLaren in front was slowing up. I think that's Dale Beveridge. No, he's just going to pull off. Maybe he's going to get the slipstream this time. Although it was too slow out of there, I think, to really get much gain out of it. So, oh no, he's going to dive in the pits. They're both going to dive in the pits. So, no
slipstream into the pits. That's an interesting strategy, but it guarantees a double stack qualifying, I guess. Not sure what they're going for there, but Adley doing very well with a 107.4 up there in P3 at the moment. Watching Deckers come across with a conservative lap, I would suggest. This will be perhaps a quicker lap. I'm pretty sure he's quicker than a 108.5.
But we're also not seeing one of our championship protagonists, Tom Malone. I don't see him on the grid at all.
I don't see him on the grid. No, I wasn't aware he wasn't racing. What's that all about?
I do not know. I know he was putting the practice in this week. So that's new to me. Maybe he's just a little bit late. Maybe he's going to take the back row start. I don't know.
Well spotted by you. He's going to have to do a last to first challenge. That's not ideal. Currently in P4 at the moment. Was up there in the standings last week. Bagged himself some points, but a couple of those in front of him got more points. Danny, obviously, with a few more points than Muhammad with the win. So Muhammad plonks himself up into third place with his result last week and pushes Tom down into fourth. So, yeah, you're not wrong. It's not going to help Tom at all if he doesn't show up for qualifying.
We certainly should point out, though, that Muhammad has done the fastest lap of the mediums, 7.9, to put himself up in P6. That's pretty solid on those mediums. Gives him certainly... He'd probably be hoping to maybe find, you'd think probably 7 or 8 tenths onto the softs, but it could be a bit of a masterstroke to start with, at least.
Smithy
He's out on the softs now, but...
Smithy and Bowen both saying 106 mids likely for Tier 1. So with a 107.2 here at the moment for Brian, we'll probably dip into the higher 106s for Tier 2. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I certainly think a 6 is possible. With certain track evolution, I'm sure a 7.2 isn't going to stay top of the pile for long.
Sounds like you're sitting on the fence there, Tom. Can I get you to tell me whether you want a 6 or not? Put some milk on it, and then have me...
Oh, here we go. The milk chat
and then have me second guess you and say maybe you want to pull that back. Look, I'll start it off. I'll say there's a 106.8 coming from Tier 2 tonight. 106.8. And I'll even go as far as to say it'll be Danny Wong, who is our current championship leader, who puts that on the board for you. So here he is on screen. What are your thoughts on that? 106.8, you seen it? You want some milk on that one?
Can I postpone for about 80 seconds? Can I do that?
No. No, I'm going to need something from you pretty shortly.
Oh.
Here he comes on his hot lap.
Uses all the track on entry to the centre S's. Gets car tucked in nicely to the left and the right. Uses some curb. Pinned all the way through here, through turn 3. Gets the DRS open. Comes up to turn 4 now. So, the scene of some drama last year in real life Formula 1. Still valid. Uses some of that curb. Up here now to one of the first tricky right-handers. We get the car nice and straight away. Keeps it in third. This car back across just a lift with the left-hander, and then up to this second tricky left-hander, or right-hander I should say. Not much straight braking zone. Trail braking in. Down here now, trying to get back onto this front straight. Nice little bit of oversteer, had to correct a little bit.
Yeah, it took a lot of that last curb, which is surprising to me. I thought you were supposed to avoid that one, so not sure.
They're trying to straight line it here.
Take
us shorter line.
So that might be it.
7.2. Adley jumps up with another 7.2, so...
How are you feeling about that 106.8 now?
I think it might be a 6.9. 6.95, I reckon.
All right, we'll have some milk on that one for sure. Anyone else?
I went very specific, so I won't put milk on it, but...
Give us a number, whatever you like. Alex has set a 106.9, which is around about where you're landing as well, so... I'll tell you what, it's bloody close up the top there.
I think what
Very
Lopez has
close
to look
indeed
out for.
between those
Oh,
two.
that's
Not the line. Unfortunate there for Gerald. He done well to keep it out of the Mercedes there, to be honest,
oh,
who
but
had to dive off track.
he's on and off. He's on an outlap though, so he's cooked those rears. We go Brian Tan.
It was Deckers in the Mercedes avoiding action, obviously with Tom not here, so he's done pretty well there. But yeah, as you said, on board with Brian here.
Jesse McLean up to P7. That's good for his debut.
Yeah, he's certainly got the pace. He's pretty handy at this track too, so very interested to see what he can do in amongst OOR's best.
A lot of that inside curb. Nice tight line. Brian Tan here, through the left-hand and out. Yellow's in front.
Tom's wheelbase is not working, so I'm not sure whether Tom will be joining us at all tonight. That is very unfortunate, especially because that's a new wheelbase, I reckon. So he'll be writing an angry letter to Fanatec, I believe.
Absolutely. Brian Tan here. He's on a really good lap here. This could put him up into P1. They're going to find 21 thousandths of a second as he comes across the line.
Doesn't improve. Must have lost a bit in that last sector because he's 2/10 down as he comes across the line. So
and he's invalidated that lap as well, so he's got to do the whole way around now. Just invalidated on that left-hander. Oh, on the right-hander, sorry, at the centre S's turn 2. Mohamed Irfan here. He's the one we need to watch. He's invalid as well, so that's not ideal either. He's Deckers here after his compromised outlap. Hopefully this hasn't hurt him too much. Does jump up a couple of spots into P10. Well, it's probably almost a solid half a second though from where he was.
Danny Wong, while we weren't watching, went top of the tables of the 107.1, so he's improved. And Adriel Sia just then drops in behind him, and very, very close with that time. So again, that top 4 all within 2/10, very tight up there. Muhammad Aman get to post the lap. So running out of time now. We'll be looking to make this one count, that's for sure. You're feeling the pressure at this point with no lap on the board, so more than likely it will be a pretty conservative line throughout most of the track. You can certainly see through sector 1 there, he didn't quite push the limits of what was capable. But nothing wrong with getting a banker here, and there should still be time. This is that apex through there pretty significantly, so this is not going to be a super quick lap, but again, he'll just be wanting to get one on the board at this point. And then there will be time left for him for one more fly up, and as you said before, Tom, track evolution in this game is the thing, so he's Jesus, close to going over that white line there on the left-hander.
He did. He's invalid.
He has invalidated that lap, so now the pressure's really on for Mohammed. We'll have to dive back into the pits now and get some fresh boots.
Mohammed
getting close to that 106, aren't we? Very, very close now.
6.9 is sounding very good from me, I think.
It is looking nice. So, well, we love how close it is to the top of tier 2 here. Really close up the top there. And in fact, under a second all the way down to P13.
That was a great save by Jesse McLean there. Just grabbed some grass on the exit of that corner and had to just counter steer. Kept it off the wall very impressively. So
he's on his bloody outlap, so sharpen your game, Jesse.
Yeah, do it on a real lap and go P1. You wouldn't.
Riff the final turn, you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. Tip it in. Use all the exit.
No, you're not wrong. He has shown good pace so far, so we'll see him come across the line for... Oh, he's diving in the pits. Maybe he reckons that save has scrubbed his tyres too much and he's not interested in putting a lap on him. Knowing that he's got time for one more. Might not be a bad shout. Obviously, if he posts a really sharp time there and can't get out for one more, then he's starting the race on a pair of scuffed boots, so might not be a bad call, but he'll want to hurry up and get back out there.
Yeah, he definitely needs to get out there soon. Gonna be a bit of traffic otherwise. Got, who's that around? That's one of the Aston Martins around at Junsao, whatever you call it. Can't see who it is. Rolling again though. No cars on the way, so that's good. If you got to dive back into the pits, try and get some fresh boots on and get out there. A little tight though.
We've got Wheezy and Sandeezy in chat. Hello, boys. Much love for you. Thomas Sanderson and Mitchell Weston. You like that one? Wheezy and Sandeezy? Not too bad. I was pretty happy.
Not bad. Wheezy and Deezy would be better.
Wheezy and Deezy?
But
Okay.
Wheezy and Deezy.
Yeah, yours rolls much better. Joe pulling over here. So called in very late tonight. Probably has had no practice. That'd be the same as Raj. They've had very little practice after being called in as late reserves.
I will say though, Raj sitting in P8 though, that's impressive.
Oh, he's a fast man. He knows his way
Has
around.
he been running
F1
Tier
car.
3? Has he been running T3? Is that where I've seen him?
He has had 1 or 2 races in Tier 3 this season, yep. And he's been sort of dropping in there to keep an eye on the proceedings in there as a sort of live steward almost, without necessarily making decisions, because obviously with the Codemasters game, you can't penalise people like we do in ACC on track. But yeah, just dropping in there to keep an eye on them. So yeah, he's sort of been in about Tier 3. But yeah, stepping up to Tier 2 tonight. Himself and Joe.
You know what I would love to see? I don't know if it's
but I'd love you
possible,
to tell me.
but what if we did after this season, we do a little bit of a impromptu season on Assetto Corsa with the Formula Hybrid X mod, of course, the 2022 spec cars. Just did a little bit of a tour around some tracks. That'd be pretty fun, I reckon.
I don't mind that from you. Someone's going to have to show me how to set all that up. I'm terrible to set a Corsa and all those mods and downloads and whatnot, but I'm sure it can be done. And that's a great idea from you. So throw that one in the suggestion box. We'll keep that one for later. I like the idea of that. I do like the look of those new cars, and yeah, to get a little feel for them, a little taste for them, it's a great idea. Especially on that game, which throw them around tracks they're not used to going around. That's a nice little idea from you, Tom Riley.
Yeah, we could do somewhere around Long Beach or... Oh, geez, I don't know. We could go to Mugello again. Do a whole bunch of tracks.
Have they got... Can you sort of like go to this new Miami track? Is that a thing?
Oh, there's
yet?
probably a mod out there. I haven't
Someone's got one of those
personally had a look,
already, yeah.
but certainly you could run the Jeddah Street circuit like as soon as the circuit had been announced, within a week there was a mod for it. So certainly some options there.
Tell you what we are seeing so far. Oh, that's a wing. Danny has just run over the wing of, I think it was a McLaren back there. So someone, either Dale or Adley's had a little off back there, and the wing just came scooting across the road. Not sure if that's going to, well, it's not necessarily ruined his lap because he's powering on with it. Here is Danny Wong. I was just about to say,
He's got slipstream here too.
Confined track.
Oh my word!
106
That's a 6.7
from Muhammad Ofan. Wowee.
Oh, wow! And Danny drops in a 6.9, 6.93, pretty much 6.94. So that's ruined both of our predictions. So that'll be null and void.
If we were playing prices right, I'll be. Oh wait, you have to be under. You have to be under. You can't be over. Yeah, great call. Yeah, spot on. Null and void. No milk for anyone. That's a very nice lap from Muhammad Afan.
Absolutely. Stuart Eng, the last one on a lap here. There's McLaren behind him too. 2 cars back. Who's on a lap? So 15 seconds to go. Irfan has dropped in the absolute banger of a 6.7. Completely blew our minds.
That's insane. As I said, we had Smitty in chat before telling us a mid 106 was going to be tier 1 pole. That's 2/10 off what Smitty believes to be a tier 1 pole. That's a rapid lap. Momo goes 4th fastest. That's also very quick. Tell you what, if you had told him at the start of the week a 107.1, he'd be very happy with that. But it puts him in P4 at least nearly half a second behind Muhammad's lap. That's insane. Very quick from Muhammad Afan.
Raj Sandhu is about half a tenth up on his own time here. So this will be good enough maybe to jump him up, maybe into that top 6 if he can hook it up for the rest of this lap. Hits that apex nice, uses all the curb. able to pick up the power nice and early, uses all the exit. Can't turn in for this tricky right-hander. I think that's probably one of the more tricky corners on the track.
I might get a tow from this Ferrari here too. Not sure if that's Jesse or Aloysius, but he's nailed that last sector, and he might just get a little love from that Ferrari. He's a little bit further back than I thought he was, but as you said, should be a handy little lap, jump him up a couple of spots. No, he doesn't improve. Well, he has improved, but not by enough to jump in many positions. He gained 0.02 of a second on his best, so...
Arm and a mum here, though. This will just probably be good enough to jump him up. Maybe 2 or 3 spots, being only about 0.2 up. So, trying to just hook up this corner. He's got a little bit of traffic in front of him. They're not going to give him the tow quite as much as he would like. Has to dive through in between traffic. Doesn't quite keep the car tucked down like everyone else does. And only just improves on his time. I think that traffic might have had something to do with it. Maybe caught him at the wrong time for a little bit of dirty air. But either way, I think that's everyone run and done.
Yeah, so we saw there was yellows all over this small confined track, and there was, as you said, traffic there at the end. It's going to be interesting to watch Tier 1 boys go about it. Ultra competitive Tier 1, so qualifying will be very interesting when we get to that. But for now, it is Mohammed Afan in P1 with a 106.7, if you don't mind.
0.2 clear. Wow.
Absolute banger of a lap, as you said. Danny Wong, P2. Adriel Sia doing very well up there in P3. Momo also with a very nice lap for P4. Hadley displaying his pace in P5. Brian Tan probably a little bit further back than he'd like to be in P6. Currently P2 in the championship, trying to chase down Danny Wong. But that's an
interesting spot to park.
Yeah. Job's done. Car stop. What do you want? All good.
So here we go. Here's the results from qualifying for this round at round 10 at Brazil. Mohammed Afan.
Brian Tan P6. We did the top 6. We'll go to Gerald Chew in P7. Decker's in P8. Raj Sandhu on debut. In front of Joe Williams, also on debut. They've been here plenty of times before. Plenty of fast boys there. Dale Beveridge, Jesse McLean, definitely on debut for OR Tier 2, was in P12. Joel Barry, Aloysius Slim, Norfolk Herma. Muhammad Aman managing to pinch a lap in P16. Theodore Pham, Mood Cassini, and Travis Murdoch, unfortunately, unable to put a lap down. Not sure. We didn't see what happened there, did we? Whether he DNF'd or what, but he will start from the very back of the grid. We will return in 2 minutes and get race 1 underway for Tier 2.
And we are back a little bit quicker, but the director has decided that we might have a quick look at one of the new F1 cars. Here it is. Here's the Haas. Oh, I see no difference to last year, really, apart from the body. The livery looks very much the same. Very much hard to see what exactly I'm looking at. The front nose, or the front wing, certainly a lot higher to support the underbody aero.
That rear wing's a lot further back too. Like, I guess that is that part of the regulation where the rear wing sit well further back. It used to be basically on top of the rear wing, so I guess that's regulation. But you're not wrong. That Haas livery looks almost exactly the same. Which, I mean, yeah, people are going to be upset when they don't get new, fresh, shiny iPhones each year, and I guess that's the same with liveries. So people want a little dash of creation, but they are sponsored by Russia, aren't they? So not
Well,
really going to get a lot to play with
yeah,
there.
it looks like it. Looks like it, doesn't it? It's yeah, certainly the front wing will be something to get used to. Certainly harks back to sort of, you know, the mid 2000s with the when aero started going insane and the wings were quite high off the ground and whatnot. And the low sweeping nose certainly complements that. But be interesting to see how far Haas can move up the grid, if at all. I think they'll certainly still be towards the back, but will still be interesting to see how they go. I'm
Yeah,
certainly
considering
looking
they spent
forward to
none
the
of
rest
their
of the season.
points and none of their time and none of their money on last season, you'd think that they've put a lot of effort into this car and they may jump up a couple of spots.
Yeah, you never know though. I struggle to see how they can move a long way up the grid, but I certainly think there'll be a lot tighter midfield. There'll be 3 or 4 teams that'll get it right, and I think those 3 teams will be McLaren, Red Bull, Mercedes, and probably Ferrari as well, given the work they've been doing in the off season. But something's burning. There's a fire somewhere.
That'll be a picture of that Haas being on fire, I
Yes.
would suggest.
Yep. Yep.
Our race director showing his distaste for that particular livery. Shouldn't be too long to go now. Just waiting for a few more drivers to get their setups together and ready up. And we'll get underway for race 1, tier 2. Off to Portugal next week.
First time it's run in OOR, so that'll be a great track. It's a good roller coaster, that track. Lots of elevation change. Certainly very fast as well.
I don't know if you recall much about round 3 when we went to Imola, and that was another new track that we hadn't been to before, and it was.
They bought some good racing.
It did.
They
There was
bought some
DNF
really good racing,
and
yeah.
safety cars and all sorts of cracking racing. So it was pretty eventful that weekend. So hopefully we get the same, as you said, on what is a very up and down roller coaster of a track. The drivers absolutely love it in real life, and I think the consensus is from OR that it's pretty much the same. It's very fun to drive. Whether or not that's the same in a race when you've got all that dirty air trying to understeer you out. Especially, I think it's turn 6 or turn 7. It's a hairpin that goes over a hill, and it's very, very prone to spinning there. So, yeah, very interested to see what happens next week. Well, it's not next week. We've got, obviously, the ACC Bathurst 12-hour we're all looking forward to this week. So we're having the week off, but it'll be a fortnight's time when we head to Portugal.
By the
February
way,
27th. Go ahead.
Yep, all that aside, we're about to get the green lights here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. How long do they hold? Not too long. We're away. Mohamed F1 leading off pole. Daniel Wong. Everyone spreads out a bit. Daniel Wong's going to challenge him up the inside of Centre S's. Try and take the lead on this first lap. Mohamed F1 has held on, but he has run a little bit wide. Daniel Wong's going to use some battery, try and get up the inside. Adriel Sia in behind in that Haas. Great start from him. Everyone sort of getting through there nice and cleanly. Nice and tight at the front still. We've got a yellow.
Back through the field, it is Jesse McLean on debut, and he looks like he's tangled with his teammate Aloysius Lim. So,
oh no, not Ferraris.
another
Wrapping
way
up
to make the
again.
name in tier 2. Unfortunate for the Ferrari fellas. Ferrari on Ferrari.
There are all the
action.
tracks for it to happen. Not Brazil. The last time we saw some Ferraris have some very unfortunate events. Well, not the last time. The last time we saw that was at Austria in real life. By the way, Mohamed F1 leads at the moment. He's got 7/10 on Daniel Wong, but with the slipstream here, Daniel Wong will get right up underneath that rear wing. You can see that time diminishing already, down to 4/10. From the standing start, 13.5 to start with. One worry I have with Brazil is that slipstream and DRS make overtaking to turn 1 nice and easy. But otherwise, it's a bit more of a DRS train when we get going. R10's going to look up the inside of Momo here. He's going to get that move done nice and early. R10's up 2 spots. Muhammad Imam and Theodore Pham are up 2 spots, as well as Travis, up 3 spots, as well as Travis Murdoch also up 3. Jesse McLean has DNF'd.
He's in
No,
chat
that's
saying
not
his
great
wheel
on the
died,
start.
so it's
Oh,
two
no.
Tier 2 drivers who've had some hardware issues tonight, resulting in them not being able to complete the race. So, yeah, Tom Malone and Jesse McLean on debut. Unfortunate for those fellas. Yeah, never like your hardware failing, but it is what it is. Racing is luck.
Now, did we not have 18 cars qualified? Because we now have 19 cars on the grid.
No, I think one came in late. I'm going to say there was 19 that qualified.
All right.
Yeah, I do recall seeing 18 at the start, but I think someone came in late. I can't remember exactly what it was. Came in about halfway through qualifying and made it to 19. So it's been a couple of little movers and shakers. Muhammad's got a couple. Theodore's followed him through. Travis has made his way from the back of the field and grabbed 3 as well. Aloysius obviously losing out with the issues. I don't know if Jesse's wheel died as they hit or after or what's happened there, but unfortunate for him. And Brian's had a great start, moving from 6th to 4th, so he'll want to make some more moves.
Oh, and that's Travis Murdoch. He's
There's a
lost
wing.
his front wing. Absolutely, that's
And
gone.
some of the nose as well.
The VSC too.
So, short, sharp race. VSC, they're coming close to the pit lane. Not sure what the strategy is, but if it's soft medium, is this the time? Just get it done? The VSC is probably not going to be long enough, I would suggest. It'll be bloody risky.
A 25% race though. It would be.
It is. Yep.
It wouldn't be, too bad because tyre wear isn't quite accelerated like it is in a 50% race, where basically half. From my understanding, we're going to see anyone duck in. We are seeing. Who do we see duck in? No one.
Yeah, there is one there.
Raj has ducked in.
Someone having a crack at it. Raj is known for his odd pit strategies. That man will do a 3-stop at a 2-stop race, and if it is for some reason a 3-stop race, he'll find a way to make it 4. He loves an extra pit stop, so he has snuck in there, and this virtual safety car is continuing on, so he won't lose the back of the field. VSC still dragging on. We're almost an entire lap around to where this original incident occurred. In fact, the leaders have passed where Travis lost his wing, and this VSC continues. So Raj,
There we go. We're back to green.
he's done himself a little strat here, and his pit stop is complete. Travis Murdoch obviously also in the pits, but he needs a new front wing, so his was more of a, I'm going to say precaution. That's not precaution I'm looking for. What did he need it for? He needed it. He absolutely needed it. What's the word I'm looking for?
Absolutely needed it. It was a requirement that he
Requirement,
fitted.
probably close to what I'm looking for. Thank you.
Well, he also gets rid of his one of his mandatory stop requirement, running on a different compound. So that'll benefit him for sure. But Travis Murdoch there came out behind Aloysius Lim, I should say. I keep butchering that name, but hopefully I won't butcher it again. But yeah, he's dropped out behind Aloysius. So he'll got a little bit of driving to do, but I think the good thing is that Raj isn't that far off the leaders. So if there is going to be green flag pit stops, as long as he nurses his mediums, he might be alright. He's at that 19 seconds, so he's really close to the leaders. I think normally it's about 21-second pit delta here. So
Yeah, I reckon it could be a master stroke. It was a long VSC. It was a big risk, but he took it, and it looks like, as you said, unless there's a few more safety cars, there's all sorts of drama. Let's not pretend like we know what's going to happen in Tier 2. We'll jump on board with Adriel Sia.
it is Brazil. The safety car chance is, what, 100% over previous races here?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, anything can happen. You're not wrong. Just want to shine a light on this man for a little second here. He is currently P19 in the championship, so he's well and truly out driving his season performance so far.
That'd be insane. Drops in an 8.9 as fastest lap of the race. So that's a great lap from him. The previous was a 9.5.
There he is. Yep, so
Back end of
Hunter
this 4-car DRS train. Daniel Wong just outside of DRS range now. Deckers gets up the inside of Gerald Chew for P7. Beveridge sitting up there on mediums. That's a good result for him. Obviously qualified outside the top 10, but free tyre choice. I think he'd keep plugging away. He's just off the back of Gerald Chew though, so needs to find a little bit of pace, trying to stay in that DRS train. A little bit wide from Adley, a little bit of dirty air wash maybe. But yeah, this train for P2 at the moment is not. Mohamed F1's just absolutely waltzing away here. Maybe he's using more of his soft tyres.
Might be using more of his battery too, just trying to, as you say, stay out of DRS and avoid this battle. Don't want to be sucked into the train.
He hasn't even used that much battery though. Look at him, he's got 80% battery.
Not wrong, spot on. We saw that he was 2/10 clear in qualifying, so it is basically just his race pace that he's pulling out with. HLC are up the inside.
Oh,
here,
that's
his nose. Managed to stay out of the back of Danny Wong.
Of course, difficult to overtake through this mid-sector here.
This train, these guys are getting very interested in some position swaps. This is a track we just came from Paul Ricard in the AC Series. This is a track where the middle sector is obviously very high downforce dependent, but it's got a nice straight too, so a lot of different setups come out of this track. Some like to run lower wing and sort of just make it through the middle sector and then make the most of the DRS on the straight, whereas others think if you can get the middle sector right, you can pick up so much time there, and then you're too far away and you can break the DRS train. So like the tracks with different setups, philosophies. There's a couple diving in the pits there. That's Danny Wong in the pits.
Here's where we see how far Raj has got himself
well.
up the grid here. 3 cars in the pits.
Decker's also pitting, yep. So a couple of pitters.
There you go, here's Raj here. Raj is going to get a couple of spots. And then he's going to get right on the back of Mood Kasani too. He's going to get, he might only get the 1 spot actually. He gets he gets 1 in an overtake on track. Well done to him, but I think he's only going to get the 2 spots as a result. Does have a nice bit of suck from Daniel Wong.
Up the inside there and gets it finished. So comes out behind Danny Wong, who is basically up there in P2. That's a great result from Raj in that pit stop. He hangs on to the back of Danny and gets the DRS. A couple of these soft tyre runners will come into the pits, Mohammed, Brian, Adley, and we'll see where they filter in. You would think if Mohammed gets his pit stop right, he will probably still be leading this race. He's now 2 seconds clear of Brian.
I think it's important to point out here that Dub Beverage on those mediums, as we see the top 3 bar Momo all pit, top 4 all in the box. So Dub Beverage has stayed out. Just talking about him, he's one to look out for on those mediums. He's gonna, if he'll change to the softs, you would think, and have a really good run at it over this the race. Raj here going to go up the inside of Daniel Wong, if you don't mind, on debut. No, he just has to bail out of it just a little bit.
Oh, there was contact.
Oh, and there's contact. Oh, no.
That was not a great camera angle to see exactly what happened there. I'm not sure, and won't pretend to understand whether one closed off the other, but yeah, definitely contact there, and Danny goes around, and Raj with a big Alpha Tower in front of him really couldn't go anywhere else, so a couple of cars moved through there. And there's more contact there as well. That looked like, I think, Decker's coming together with Gerald Chew. So Gerald sitting there, I think, maybe minus some of his wing.
Here. We've got a VSC. So who's this going to benefit? With a little bit less of a delta. When diving into the pits, surely Momo and Dale Beveridge dive into the pits here. Yeah, there's Momo.
Dale Beveridge coming up to the pits now, so yeah, it's a great spot for him to find himself under VSC. As you said, he'll chuck those softs on.
He's in the pits. Oh, pit off hand picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's not what you want. So Mohammed F1 here, he's going to take the lead. Or is he? Is Momo out? Momo's just coming out of the pits now. He's going to take the lead. Momo's got the lead here.
Wowee. Oh, Raj has got 5 seconds of speeding the pit lane too. He's more experienced than that. Expect better from Swo. But yeah, bang on. Everyone's slowed down under VSC, Muhammad including. And Momo says, thank you very much. I'll have some fresh new mediums and I'll jump into the lead of this race. Chu also
the
getting
5
5
seconds.
seconds of speeding in the pits. We don't often see multiples, and now we've got 3 of them. So you don't gain much by speeding up to that pit line, but you lose 5 seconds if you get it wrong. So it's a pretty risky business, and 3 of them will pay the price. Theodore was one of them, but finds himself up 10 places at the moment.
Oh, there's a penalty there for Hamam with a penalty must be under safety car.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? I think the VSC had finished, so it's an interesting
Contact through a yellow zone, maybe something
Yeah,
like
maybe.
that. I don't know.
Yeah, didn't see it.
Top average is going to be the one to look out for though on those softs.
Yeah, with 7 laps to go and less fuel in his car, he'll be doing 7 qualifying laps now. So he'll really enjoy this challenge. He'll be chasing down Adriel, and then he'll have his teammate Adley to deal with. So interesting to see what happens between those two. Deckers, we watched him come together with Gerald. Again, didn't really see who was to fault with that one, but he managed to get away without much damage by the look of it. And certainly wasn't in the wall, so he will come up and challenge Norful and Theodore here. So what, he's got a good run, but this is not a great corner for an overtake. But Norful does well there, opens up steering, and that's good driving from both of them. So Deckers gets one done.
I was just about to talk about tyre difference, the tyre delta that you might have on performance. Through that middle sector, Top Beverage will be one in the quicker. He'll have a bit more grip, he can brake a little bit later, carry a bit more speed through the corner. So he'll be certainly one to watch out for through that middle sector. And he is just in the DRS range of Adriel Sear in front of him. We're hoping that can help him get right up into the slipstream. Be able to chase him right down through first sector. There we go, 8-8 for him.
Yep, on those softs, as you said, you called it. He's going to throw in a couple of purples here, I would suggest. Deckers now all over the back of Theodore Pham. Oh, got all sorts of crossed up there, though, and that will let Norful take that spot back. So, a little mistake there from Deckers. Although he's got the run on the outside. Look at the speed difference there. Late braking from Norful. But
Good battle here. This is a good battle. Good spot to watch the battle. Great racing between the two, giving each other plenty of space. Norfolk, can he dive up the inside? No, not quite at that corner. It's such a difficult corner to get an overtake done on.
Yeah, Deckers
Really
managed to
needs some
hold
good
it
tyre difference.
nicely there. He had the, I think he still had the DRS open on the way down to turn 4, which is why we saw that speed difference. And so he just managed to hold on to that position even after his...
Well, I would have thought that
overtake
Norfolk would have had DRS too. So unless Deckers
thought
was
so
using
too.
his battery or he's running a slightly lower wing setup, as you were talking about before.
It just looked like a significant pace difference. I thought Norfolk was going to get it done, but Deckers pulled it back. So
We go Dub Beverage up the inside. No, this is Adley Hussein up the inside of Brian Tan. They're still battling. They come down here. Of course, Brian Tan gets the DRS from the detection point at the apex of turn 2. Dub Beverage gets past Adriel Sear as well. That's good for him. Means he can start chasing after his teammate. I wonder if they're in communication together. And if Adley just has to be forced to sit behind Brian Tam, whether or not there'll be a bit of team play there. Yeah, I spoke about it last week, whether you let your teammate through, have a battle with Brian Tan in the last couple of laps, and if he doesn't get through, then hand the position back. We've seen that before in real life as well. Valtteri Bottas was a great exponent of that.
ball with Deckers as he resumes his battle with Theodore. Theodore obviously with that penalty at the moment, and a good 7 seconds behind Adriel Sear. So with only 4 laps to go, Deckers might just be playing the safe card there. He won't want to do anything too silly, knowing he already has that position in the book. But we'll just watch Adley go straight past Brian into turn 1. So nicely done by him.
Here's the other way to look at it now. Is that Adley might back Brian Tan.
Been watching Momo sort of sneak away at the front of the field.
Oh, there's contact there.
Contact there. So these three getting all up in each other's business for the last couple of laps.
It's a great battle here, though.
Deckers around the outside, gets that one done pretty easily in the end. It's pretty
Brian
wide there from Norfolk. That will be a warning of his. He thought his light blinking there, so he looks like he's out of battery. The Deckers will probably hold that position now, you would think. With 4 laps to go, do you see him making up 9 seconds to Adriel Sear?
No, I don't think Deckers can. He doesn't have the tyre difference to be able to do it. And Adriel Sear, of course, still has the DRS from Dale Beveridge, who's pushing ahead. So I was just saying before, I wonder if that was before Brian got past Adley again, but whether or not there was any scope for Adley to start backing Brian 10 off. I mean, these two still battling has just invited Dale Beveridge right up behind them here. So Adriel Sear might just be sitting behind. Doesn't really have a much battery, but I'm sure Dale Beveridge has less given his pace in the last couple of laps. I think that might work against him. But
Light flashing on the back of Dale's car, you're not wrong. He will be pretty empty. Trying to break the toe on the way down turn 4 there. And, oh, there's an accident. That is a dead McLaren, and there's 2 cars involved there. So that's Adley, who was DNF'd. He is dead. That is a safety car with 3 laps to go, if you don't mind. If you wanted this one shaken up, hello, here it is.
And Brian Tan, I think, was Brian Tan involved? I think that might be who was involved. Because those two were battling really hard. So I have to wait and see how much damage he has. He certainly dropped back a couple of spots. So I wonder if he's still got a front wing or not. And he still does. So he's got end plates. He does have end plates. So I wonder if it was just a bit of overlap. Aloysius gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's not ideal, but I'll tell you who this benefits, absolutely. Given we'll probably only see 1 lap of safety car here. Waiting on the end of the first sector there. I think this absolutely benefits Dale Beveridge.
Yeah, on those soft tyres, you're not wrong. And it's pretty significantly disadvantaged this man, Momo, who had been pulling away from Mohammed, not necessarily gapping him to an extent, but he was just cruising along nicely. Mohammed, we know, has some really good pace, and Momo was just keeping him at bay around about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. So
What's
he was
going on
hoping.
here? Murdoch goes a bit wide under safety car. He's in the middle of this. He's in a tough spot for Dale Beveridge, though. So he's Aloysius, who got a penalty for speeding into the pits, and in all of that, Mohammed Imam's DNF'd as well. Don't know how that happened.
No, I didn't see that. When did that happen? There he is. I can see him in the pit lane. So he's just.
Has he DNF'd on the entrance to the pit lane? That's what it looked like. It looked like he DNF'd.
He is. He hasn't even made it into the pit lane, has he?
No, so I wonder if he's just clipped the inside wall on entry.
He has come in too
Knocked
hot.
the right front out of it. Either way, we're going to have a battle here. So it sucks for Dale Beveridge, though. He's got 2 lap traffic ahead of him.
It was a short safety car, was it not? That field is not bunched up.
That was, but of course it's the last 2 laps of the race. So he can't go, though. He's just... Oh, this sucks so much for Dale Beveridge. He's got that tyre difference. He's got lap traffic in between him. So he's going to hope they get out of the way as soon as he can. But he's
who's that? Adriel Sear.
Had to bully Adriel Sear there.
Say, mind your own business. I'm on my soft tyres. I've got a job to do. And Adriel says, no, I'm going to take advantage of. Brian Tan is here as well. Oh, up the inside goes Brian Tan. Wowee. And gets it done pretty cleanly. Let's be honest. He wasn't really necessarily a dive bomb. He just put his nose there and got it done, and he pulled it up, and there was nothing wrong with that.
Made it clear that he might go for the moves,
Adriel gets all sorts of that curb, and I thought he was going to go around, but he manages to hold it.
Of course, no DRS here either, so it's really down to straight line slipstream. Down the straight, Dale Beveridge is right. He's only 9/10 behind Mohammed Irfan. Momo here, though, with that strategy play, has absolutely played himself into the box seat here, but Mohammed Irfan, he's going to use as much juice as he can on this last lap.
We saw him.
Straight now.
2/10 clear in qualifying. He's got the pace. Can he reel him in? He'll get DRS down this first straight after turn 3. Momo will have to position his car carefully.
Could we see a battle on the straight last time?
Slipstream. Momo got
he's
a
just
great
happy to
exit
sit here.
turn 3, yeah. So he'll hold it down here.
He's just going to hope to get right up on the back of him and try and have a dive at the last on the straight with slipstream. Also not too far off with battery though.
They'll be
Close, only about
not
10%
quite
different.
able to close the gap in the last sort of lap or so. So you would think he's well ensconced there in P3. Still a great result if he can hold on to that podium. But this is the battle. This is
Could be
it.
huge
Muhammad
here.
has
This battle's the
closed the
line.
gap in the middle sector. It's all about this last corner. Takes plenty of that curb. Momo gets a good exit.
Using all the juice as much as he can.
Not gonna be enough, I don't think. Momo's going to run away with this one. What a result. Excellent.
That's
Got the
great.
pit
That,
done.
that safety car came out at just the right time for him.
Half a
On
race
the
wins
VSC.
lap. Oh, up to the line, those two. That is Danny Wong and Joe Williams, I think.
No, it was Joe Williams and Joel Barry. They were only separated by just about a tenth. Roland Chew across the line for 13th. You get a 5-second for the unserved penalty. Mid Kasani had to serve his drive through, so he'll bring up the rear of the grid. Bar Travis Murdoch and Aloysius Lim. Of course, we're lap traffic.
Well, Dale Beveridge, driver of the day. I'm sure that's what he will get from Codemasters. He gets mine as well. Up 8 positions and grabs a podium, so he'll be very happy with that. R10 doing his championship credentials, no harm with a P4.
Mid Kasani finishes the race in pit lane. Decides, oh, I'm not going to go back to the pits. I'm not going to do the parade lap at the end.
Drive-through is what he's done. He's not even made it into the pit box. He's just done a full drive-through. There he is, Dale Beveridge, driver of the day. Well deserved. Nice work. Say hello to your stream chat for me, because you are driver of our day, and there you are on podium. But it's Momo lifting the trophy here at Brazil in race 1. As I said, with a lucky safety car, making the right calls, getting it done. So he comes home in P1 for his very first win of the season. Muhammad Afan, after qualifying on pole, finishes P2. Dale Beveridge from P11, driver of the day in P3. Brian Tan, Adriel Sia, Declan Holling's head, Danny Wong, Joe Williams, Joel Barry, and Theodore Pham round out the top 10. Raj Sandhu going for the strategy call. Not quite working out for him, unfortunately. Norfolk Hermer, Gerald Chu, Cassini, Travis Murdoch up there as well. Aloysius Lim, Muhammad Aman not finishing the race, unfortunately. I'm not sure what happened in the pit lane there. Adley Hussain also DNFing, along with Jesse McLean having some hardware issues. Looks like in chat, Jesse's going to make it back for race 2, so that'll be good for him. And I did see, if I'm not mistaken, our man, Avid's on his birthday, is going to make it in for race 2. So I'm not sure if that's... it's up to the race director, I guess. I'm not sure, but if that's the case, and he makes it in on his birthday and fills up our grid, and we get 20 cars, and he gets to roll around on his birthday, I'll be very happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be a great start. That'd be a great way to spend the to spend his birthday. 20 cars in this grid. Of course, we're in this next race now. It'll be the set grid. What is it? Reverse top 12? Is that right? Reverse top 10, reverse top 12? Can't remember.
10, I think it is.
Top
in F1.
10. So, I can't remember who was in 10th. We're good at this, aren't we, JC?
I didn't take a screenshot. No.
No.
Yeah, we weren't watching that battle, though. We were watching the battle for the win, so that's where our attention was. Spot on. We should have picked up who was P10. We'll be ready for that for Tier 1. Don't worry about that. As we said, always very hotly contested in Tier 1. But until we get this grid sorted out, and we get a little reverse grid, we might take a minute's break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about another F1 car coming into this season. I think it's the Aston Martin up next, if I'm not mistaken.
Aston Martin, Red Bull. Either or. We'll talk about
Either
one of them.
or, whichever one you like. We'll see you soon.
So clear out the room, I'm coming through. They wanna see what I'm about. Yeah, I got skills, do it for the thrill. I'm on a paper route. Extra, read about it. I'm today's trending topic. I put commas over bullshit. Yeah, I put that on.
And we are back, and we are gonna get what I would appear to be a full car grid, 20 cars. I think that's what's gonna happen. Jesse McLean, of course, with his wheel base failure or whatever it was, he'll be back in for this race. And I think we're also going to get Jared Ellis in as well. So it's his birthday. So drop the happy birthdays in chat for him. But if you're in the Discord, go and have a look at, I don't know if it's in a public chat, if you're not part of F1, if you don't have the F1 role, but there was a birthday cake made for him, which is absolutely incredible. It's a very nice.
See that? Where is that? I'm gonna have a look.
If you scroll up a little bit in the Split 2 chat.
Nice. It is a little McLaren cake. Love that.
Very much so. And whilst we wait for this grid to form up, maybe we'll talk about the Red Bull Challenger for this season. There it is. That's a very bright coloured photo compared to what we saw previously.
I saw those tyres and I thought that was a birthday cake.
I did.
I saw those.
Did also
tyres
see those tyres, and they do look like a bit of a birthday cake.
They look like they've been made out of licorice.
Mm.
But then, yeah, obviously the rest of the car looks pretty tidy. So
yeah, it
sharp
does.
looking automobile, isn't it?
It does. A lot more yellow on the nose. Of course, I'm not sure if this is the actual livery though, because that has Red Bull plastered on the side pods, and of course the news just before their launch was that Oracle had signed an enormous deal up and around the 700,000 Australian mark, or 700 million or whatever it was. It was a massive deal.
Yeah,
but
that's a lot.
they're plastered on the side. Now, what is that photo? I don't know what that
Jared's
photo
mum.
is.
And there's Jared's
There
mum.
you go.
who
There's
made
his
him the
package.
McLaren cake. There it is. Happy 19th birthday, Jared.
Quite an elongated nose, isn't it?
That.
It's
Yeah,
a good
it's
effort,
got
it's good effort.
It's got some front downforce, that's for sure. No, that's a great effort by all involved, and I'm sure it would have been delicious. What sort of cake you got? It looks like it's browned underneath, so probably a mud cake with some sort of vanilla frosting. Looking very nice. Nicely done to Jared's mum, I assume, made that one. And yeah, happy birthday, Jared. Best of luck in race 2 here. Had to race home probably from his birthday party, I assume. I'm not sure where he maybe went out for dinner or something, and so he's made it in for race 2. So you'll love to see that. He'll come from the back of the grid. Yeah, it was an interesting cropping. Yep. Tom and I sitting here thinking, what's going to happen here? A little bit not suitable for work, but no, we cleaned it up, got the cake out. So just a little bit of extra time here, obviously, as the grid is set. It's a manual reset of the grid as we reverse the top 10, and then we get Jared added in as well. So just a bit of extra time there. We didn't get a great look at that Red Bull. Can I have that back? There it is.
There it
There's
is.
the new one.
That's
too, with
the actual
Oracle
one
on the side.
So I think it's important to note that a lot of people were calling that it was a bit more of a show car with some bits added, or some bits not added, and it's just the same show car. But certainly, the livery doesn't look too different apart from the Oracle plastered on the side.
Well, it was Jared himself who was in chat before, and he said if it's not broken, don't fix it. And that's probably a good way to go with the Red Bull, because it's a nice looking livery. They've got a good color scheme happening, and obviously with Red Bull as your main sponsor, you want to keep it pretty close to red and a bull. So they basically nailed that
With a Red Bull on the side, of course.
What they've done.
Yep.
What's the deal with the hubcaps? This one seems to have been missing them, but I think with the McLaren and we saw the Red Bull
Steelies.
before.
The Steelies.
What's the go with those? Are they compulsory as part of the new regulations? Or
You do need to run wheel covers, of course, harking back to sort of the mid 2000s as well, but certainly to have an impact on the wake coming off the front tyres. course, you've got the flow deflectors across the top, the tyres, which will help channel some of that air around the tyre a bit more. Of course, there's not a much working surface downforce on the upper surface this year. Certainly a lot more downforce is being produced underneath the car, which is a cleaner way of producing the downforce for the car behind. And it's the clown car.
Is it?
They're saying. Well,
I'm missing it. I don't get it.
I
Why is
think-
it a clown car? We don't like Red Bulls? Is that...
I think it's because it's not the real car. I think that might be what it is it?
Well, someone's
They're
going to
trying
have
to throw us off the bait.
going to have to jump in chat, tell us what that's about, because I didn't get it. I thought it was a nice looking livery. What I did notice though is it didn't quite have as much rake as I'm used to on a Red Bull. So I don't know if again that's part of the regulations or...
Yeah, but
as you
then
said-
you've also got to think about the fact that it's probably just a mock-up of the show car, and when
Yeah.
they actually send it out for winter testing at Spain, it'll be a very different car indeed.
Is that confirmed that it's going to be at Spain? Didn't we do Bahrain last year? Because
I think they're doing 2 rounds of winter testing. They're doing Spain, and then they'll fly to Bahrain, and then do Bahrain winter testing the weekend before the actual race. I believe that's what the deal is. Of course, we also heard the news a couple of weeks ago that they're not going to televise Spain winter testing. It won't be standard F1 run broadcast from winter testing, but there'll certainly be plenty of media that comes out from it. So we shouldn't be holding too long here for them to get their setups right. Looks like it's still overcast, but not. Doesn't look like there's much threat of rain compared to what we've seen at some other events.
There's certainly no umbrellas there in the pit lane from those boys, so they're not worried about the weather. So that means we're saving it all for tier 1, which I'm
good.
okay with. I am totally okay with that. So no qualifying here. We're just waiting for the cars to form up on the grid, and we'll get underway for race 2. And I'm looking forward to seeing who's on pole, who finished P10 last race. Because as you so rightfully said, we just didn't quite pick up on that as we were watching that battle for P1. But yeah, looking forward to seeing a full grid go at it. All 20 cars battling it out on fresh tyres, it must add too. Obviously, with no qualifying, everyone's going to come out here on super fresh boots.
How many goes in around the mediums, given what we saw from Momo in that last race? There's a lot to play out, but...
Yeah, and from Dale Beveridge, who, as you said, started on the mediums and managed to pick up a podium.
Sorry, yes,
so...
Dale Beveridge started on the mediums, but it was the safety car that benefited Momo for his result. But yeah, how many are we going to see on the mediums? Wonder if we're going to see across the 20-car grid, are we going to see one car out of each garage run the mediums? Get on to a bit of an alternate strategy. Of course, the crossover here, though, didn't seem to be that different between the 2 cars, between the 2 tyre options, whether you start on the medium, start on the softs. Looks like you could get pretty much half the race out of both, or out of the soft tyre, so interesting to see what sort of strategies we see. But we'll have to wait. Could be interesting.
Certainly a lengthy build-up. Not sure if we've had some more technical issues or if someone's disconnected or what, but Codemasters advising us in the left there that we are still waiting for someone. So with bated breath, the anticipation builds. Here we go. The countdown is on. So a few have readied up. May not have to wait the full 20 seconds if the rest of them ready up, but even if we do, we're nearly there. Looking forward to seeing those 5 red lights up and the dive down into turn 1. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 red lights. Off they go. I jumped the gun. Here they come. Rhyming my way all the way down to P1. It's Theodore Tham leading us away in front of Joel Barry. Joel Barry not quite getting the run. So Theodore will lead us away. Everyone looked like they got through turn 1 pretty handy, but it's usually turn 2 and 3 that cause the most issues. Not too shabby there from everyone else. Plenty of position changes happening in the midfield. There's McLaren very wide out the back there, but manages to get back on track. Theodore Pham still leading us away. Joe Williams managed to pick up a spot. Joel Barry's dropping back through the field a little bit. There is a yellow flag now.
Oh, there's 2 cars involved.
Jared Ellis
The
on his
3 cars
birthday's out
involved.
there. Jared Ellis on his birthday's out the back there. That's not ideal. Muhammad Aman also
No.
involved. Now Lewis Slim also there. But that's all resuming. A couple of end pieces missing, but no wings missing. Nothing too shabby. There's something bouncing across the road there as we watched everyone come around the final sector. Theodore's had a great start here. He's done very well.
Important to note, if you're watching along at home and confused as to why Joe Williams is in a Mercedes, that would be down the spare seat after Jared Ellis returned.
Yep, spot on. Well spotted by you. So he's filling the seat, obviously, of Tom Malone, who couldn't join us tonight. And, yeah, a couple of different pieces of machinery for Joe. So, long time OR man, Joe Williams. Right underneath the rear wing of Theodore Pham. Yellow flag back here in Sector 1. It looks like there's a Haas off after turn 1, who's resuming. So nothing serious happening there. Decker's defending well down the middle of the road there behind, sorry, in front of Joel Barry. Joel Barry having to pull out of that potential move.
A reasonably narrow track as well, Brazil, so trying to run, 3 wide if you want to leave the space on the outside and not compromise your line isn't really that much of an option, especially down into that turn 4 section where there's not much out of curb where you would in the braking zone.
Mohamed Afan here coming into the final sector, pressuring Gerald Chew. He's had a poor start, has he? He's dropped 4 spots and outside the top 10. So
Yes, McLean up 8 though.
back.
Here we go.
Yeah, a couple of those would have been grabbed from those early incidents. Adley back there now too. So he's done well to pick up 8 spots. But yeah, 4 of them would have sort of
This
been
battle for the
different.
top 4 here, this is very,
Spicy
very
up.
spicy. Joe Williams has to go defensive, take the inside line.
Joe's got down the inside of... Where's Theodore gone? Theodore's dropping back, so... Theodore's down there in P4. It's actually his AlphaTauri teammate, Danny Wong, up there in P2, but Joe's got him as well. So Joe leads us away, followed by Danny Wong, Declan Hollingshead, and on board with Theodore Pham as he goes down the inside of Deckers. Deckers doesn't leave him a great deal of room, but Theodore wasn't necessarily entitled to it. He came from a long way back. Deckers did well to avoid contact. Theodore not done yet. Around the outside here, and while that was very close to being track limits, it looked like he got away with it. These two still going at it. Decker's not willing to give this one up easy. But Theodore doing nicely there around the middle sector and finds himself back up into P3. So after starting from pole and losing a couple of spots, he's got one back. Deckers will stay with him, I'm sure. And Joel Barry here sitting in P5, just calmly positioning himself behind this group, waiting for a chance to pounce. DRS will open up. In fact, if it not, it's already opened up and he will get it. So Brian Tan up behind Joel Barry here. Goes past his teammate.
We've seen 10 cars start on the softs like I predicted.
Oh, who was that down the inside? Dale Beveridge
Dale
says
Beveridge.
hello. He's just popped in a picture very quickly there on soft tyres and goes down the inside of Joel Barry. Brian Tan moves up into P5 on medium tyres. Danny Wong also on mediums. There's a couple of hard tyre runners down the back there. Not sure that's the call, even with obviously those lap 1 incidents. There was some early pit stops for those guys. I think mediums would probably last the 25% race, but we'll see how the hard tyre goes here in Brazil as Declan Hollingshead wants this position back down the inside of Theodore. Not quite getting it there.
We've got yellows, that's Mohamed Irfan is off. Now pole sitter from tonight.
Just not quite been his night, has Mohammed. We saw him absolutely dominate last week in Australia. He had a cracking week last week. Just not quite got it together here in Brazil. Might be setup related or some other cause. A couple of penalties coming through as well for track limits. Jesse McLean picking up one of those. Jared Ellis has one as well. So medium tyre runners basically 50-50 with the soft tyre runners at the moment. Looks to be about 6 of each, 7, maybe 8 of each, with 2 hard runners. You would suggest there's only 8
Dana Wong
cars
here.
marked.
Trying to get the run on Joe Williams. DRS train here. Everyone moving around, trying to find somewhere. Joe Williams wants to pop back into that gap, but can't. Hold around the inside. But Theodore Pham's still there. Oh, so close wheel to wheel. Turn 6, turn 7.
Oh, there's Dale Beveridge and Brian Tam popping in the picture again. Those two right behind this battle. Tell you what, it's close between everyone in the top 10. There is no gap bigger than a second as they continue to battle on. There's battles happening everywhere you look at the moment. Only on lap 5, and they're doing very well to keep out of each other's way. But the elbows are out in some cases, making for some exciting racing at the moment. Plenty of DRS open. Brian Tan.
It's ridiculous. The top 10 are all within a second of each other.
Joe Williams ducks into the pits there. Yeah, it's super close in that top 10 pack. You can see it on the track map how condensed they are as they all file down here in turn 1, 2, 3. They are all super close. We're here on board with Jesse McLean in P9, and he can see the leader. That's how close they are. They are no more than a straight away from each other. Norfolk Hermer down the inside of Momo there. Gets that one done pretty well. Goes pretty wide on exit there, but holds on to it. Momo obviously winning the last race. We've started from P10, so not too shabby to start from him, making up a few positions, but losing one there to Norfolk. Jesse sticks his nose up the inside here and has to take all sorts of curb to stay away from Momo's side pod there. Momo just nice and smooth. He's got a great line, does Momo. He's been racing with us for a while, so knows his handles, knows his tracks. He's very competent.
You can see anyone box from this top 10 here. Some of those soft runners might start thinking about it for a bit of undercut benefit, bit of clear air maybe, but there's a lot of time without slipstream here as well. There's some really good battles going on, especially between Brian Tan and Dale Beveridge here. Well, Dale Beveridge runs a bit wide through turn 3. Decker's right up behind Theodore Pham here. Trying to salvage as many points as he can. Just McLean gets the track limits penalty.
That's another one for him. So he's racking them up at the moment. 7 laps in, and he's got 2 penalties that'll put him up to 6 seconds worth. So just not
Probably
quite
just
finding
going
the
for
limits
it
at the
here.
moment. Yeah.
Going for it here, trying to find where he can get some benefit. Decker's with that really tight line through the left-hander. Got to be careful though, Dale Beveridge behind him.
Tell you what, Brian Tan had been sick of looking at McLaren tonight. He obviously had that incident with Adley in the first race, and they were battling in the race, and now he's battling Dale. So maybe well and truly over the papaya as Dale ducks into the pits here. 6-lap old softs, they'll be changed for some medium boots. And he will try and undercut a couple of these soft runners up the front. Theodore Pham, Declan Holland's head in front of him as he popped in. So we'll see what happens when they pit. But back on board now with Deckers. Absolutely exhausting his battery on the way down here. Theodore red blinking light too, so he hasn't got a lot left either. Danny Wong currently leading us on medium tyres. He is my man to take this one away, assuming no safety cars cause much of a cuffle. He looks pretty comfortable up there in P1. But you're not wrong. It's this battle here. Theodore Pham, Declan Hollingshead have come together already. Nothing too stressful. They didn't get in each other's way too much, but they certainly battled. Number 5, the biggest lap, 108.3. Nice tidy sector there from Declan. He's right up behind Theodore here. And he is out of battery, and they have a decision to make. They know that Dale has popped into the pits. Do they cover him here, or do they continue this battle?
We've got yellows, that's Norfolk Hermer.
Yeah, Norfolk's out. That is one DNF and a safety car. There he is. There's Norfolk dead on the side of the track there.
And Theodore
Theodore
Pham hasn't stopped.
Oh, that's going to hurt him. That's going to hurt his feelings.
It was always going to hurt, even if he stopped with a double stack.
That's devastating for
That's
Theodore.
really gonna impact him, and he's gonna have to stay behind the safety car too.
As the safety car does some interesting things there as it exits the pits.
Oh, that sucks for Theodore Pham. He's going to be slowed down by the safety car. He's going to drop miles back. He would have hoped the safety car didn't come out as soon as it did.
Yep.
He can run, to the Delta all the way out. Raj Sandhu here, of course, one of the early stoppers. onto the soft tyres, he's not really going to favour that well. With some soft runners in front behind him. And of course, those on the mediums too are going to start charging through.
Yeah, you would have taken the double stack under that situation, I think, wouldn't you? Surely.
Yeah, with everyone else pitting, you wouldn't lose as much time, but safety car came out at just the right moment for everyone else. Perfect crossover point.
Yeah,
I think we got to look out for Brian Tan. Momo once again did the medium strap with that free tyre choice. Probably have what, another lap under safety car, you'd think.
Yeah, there's still plenty of cars left to bunch up, so
Hamilton is a fair way off, but
comes in.
maybe this lap you might see.
There goes Theodore. He pops in, and Danny Wong takes over the lead of the race on nice new soft tyres with about 8 laps to go. He is in a commanding position here. Brian Tan also in a pretty good position. So Danny currently P1 in the championship, Brian P2 in the championship.
Important to note, Joe Williams, who's led a lap this race, he boxed really early for those mediums and didn't get anywhere near the benefit that he would have wanted, with it being green flag running. So everyone in front of him got that free pit stop. Jesse McLean, though, up 12 spots. Very impressive from him. Those 6 seconds of penalties.
We've seen how close this field has been all night, so track position looking nicely in P7, but with 8 laps to go, that 6 seconds is probably going to cost him a handful.
Absolutely, that's not ideal for him.
Jared Ellis doing very nicely in P11, mind you, on his birthday. He obviously had that incident lap 1 where he was sent to the back of the field. Well, he started from the back of the field and stayed there with the incident, so this has all benefited him a little bit. He's on nice fresh mediums and he's currently in P11, so doing very nicely at the moment. Plenty of soft runners down the back of the field there too. Looking forward to seeing how they move and shake with 8 laps to go. Safety car coming in this lap, so you were spot on, Tom Riley. 1 to go, you said. Here it is.
So Muhammad Imam loses out there. He gets track limit warning too.
How do you get track limit warnings under safety car, Muhammad? Come on, man.
Must be pushing so hard to try and get back up to the front. Daniel Wong here, how long does he hold? This is where the strategy plays in now. When does he go? When does he go? There we go, he goes now.
Oh, there's an accident in the back.
On the back.
There's an accident in the back at the restart.
No.
That'll be another safety car if I'm... Or maybe not. I don't know if he's managed to keep... He's actually still going, so it won't be a safety car.
Mood Kazani has DNF. It will be a safety car. It has to be, you'd think.
Well, we saw last week how safety cars don't always come out for some reason, so...
Everyone's still racing here, though.
He is still sitting there. Muhammad comes cruising past him. Sector 1, 2, and 3 yellows. They're all under yellow.
That's Muhammad Irfan around as well, so that will be both Alfa Romeos out of this race. I think we will see a safety car, surely.
No, they're going through green sectors in the middle. It's
Jesse McLean's around. Oh, surely
it's all kicking off here in Tier 2. What's going on?
It's all turned to shit.
So I think that's Joe Williams in the back there. He looks like he's got no front wing, and he was taking a very wide line. Way off track, obviously, with that front wing, not giving him the turn he wants, but there is no safety car. We will carry on. Raj Sandhu finds himself up in P2 after all that. Goodness me, what a shake-up that was. We've got 7 laps to go now. And we didn't see a safety car, even though we had all those... That's unbelievable. Goodness me.
Oh, my word.
We had a weird one last week, but that's up there. Anyway, we'll watch Momo go past Dale pretty comfortably here on these soft tyres down the inside. Gets that
Raj is gonna be a sitting duck with 7 lap
Oh, hang on a second. Dale said no. I thought that move was done, but Dale...
So did I.
Back. So you would think down here in a turn 4 with the DRS open...
He's already done it. Is Adley going to get him? Adley does get him too.
He does. Dale loses 2 positions there. So it was a very ambitious hold through turn 1, 2 and 3 from Dale, but...
Theodore Pham gets 3 seconds. There's 5 cars in the pits after what happened on that first lap out of the safety car. That's a lot of cars boxing.
Yeah. It was the late leave by Danny, which he's entitled to do. He held them up for a long while, and you can see the back of the field really condense up and get really impatient. A couple just got into each other's business, and yeah, we had obviously...
A bit like Magello, isn't it? I said Magello once this stream, and we've had a recreation here at Brazil.
Well, that was disgraceful, wasn't it? That was almost... Yeah, well, I'm glad F1 cars are as safe as they are, because that could have been well worse.
Yeah.
In Magello last year. Mohamed Afan has DNF'd, so that's not going to do his title standings any favours whatsoever.
Neither is it for Alfa Romeo with both cars out.
Alfa Romeo currently P6, so not really challenging for top positions, but they certainly will feel the pinch here. Tell you what, it benefits Tom Malone. Mohamed Afan not finishing this race. He'll still be hanging on to that P4, P3 title fight.
What Adley are saying here, up 12 spots, if you don't mind.
Loving life.
And he's really threatening Deckers here, of course, with the tyre difference. Deckers on the mediums, Adley on the softs. So he'll be hoping to get a good exit out of here. Onto this main straight, gets right up behind him, can't quite hit the apex. But he's got the toe, he's right underneath that rear wing. Not gonna have to use much battery. He's about 10, 15, maybe 20% or so.
Plenty of 2x2s up there on the way to turn one.
Let's go round the outside if you don't mind, and gets that move done. Deckers has to take off track, but yeah, the Deckers will have doesn't quite have the DRS, Adley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Job done for Adley. Decker's flat out of battery there, but look at that. So probably won't compete, especially with the tyre difference. Won't be competing to get that position back. But here's Momo chasing around Raj. Raj currently sitting on the podium.
Probably not for much longer though, with that tyre difference as well that we've highlighted already. And Momo here looking for another podium result. Back-to-back podiums in the two races we have here at Brazil is on the offing for Momo.
Massive stack of points for him tonight if he can pull it off.
Daniel Wong and Brian Tan, they've absolutely capped the field here. So here comes Momo. He's going to look up the outside because Raj doesn't give him the inside. Gonna look for the crisscross here, look for the good exit. Doesn't quite get as good as he would have wanted, but stays in that slipstream, uses some battery, gets the DRS. Oh, he's sitting duck Raj. Raj, oh my word, that was
close.
That was very close movement.
Raj was entitled to a defensive move, and that's where he wanted to put it. So Momo was forced to change his mind, go around the outside. It did come very close to contact there, but the pace difference was just extreme. And even with the almost incident, Momo manages to get the move done. And now this invites Adley, who, as you said, has made 13 positions already. He's not done yet. He wants some more. This will be a mega result for Adley, who I think DNF'd last race. Gerald Chu just quietly going about his business behind these boys too. He's up 7 spots as well, so doing very nicely in P6. Here's the run for Adley. DRS open, plenty of battery being used down the inside of Raj. And a little bit wide there after turn one, so this will invite Raj back into it. As they
Raj left DRS here with the detection zone. Of course, Adley has it too, being so close to Momo.
Yep. So, job done. Nice work, Adley.
Oh, I picked up 3 seconds though. Here we go.
Made that though. Grabs himself a penalty.
Oh, not what you want.
No more than 3 seconds gap all the way back to P10. That is going to sting. Although Dale Beveridge also with some pens, so it won't cost him that one. But that's going to hurt.
Of course, we're highlighting Jesse McLean with those 6-second penalties early on within the first 8 or 9 laps.
Going
Not
very
helping his
slowly
challenge
on the
here,
pit
but
Jesse McLean, by the way, I just noticed him back there.
he's in pits.
He is in the pits.
So I think from memory he did start on the mediums, went to the softs, And then those softs weren't going to last, so he's going to be some traffic here for the front runners to deal with.
Gerald Chew. We just called on him. He said he's had a good race and gets that one done around the outside. So his tyres starting to fail Raj a little bit now. He's lost a bit of pace and he's falling back through the field a little. That's a nice move around the outside from Gerald in turn 1. So
absolutely.
nicely done. Penultimate lap here now.
Those front two have absolutely gapped the field after that safety car restart. There's a bit of battling going on with where Raj was in P3. Certainly hasn't helped, and all the chaos that erupted from that first lap after the safety car meant we've lost some drivers. Some have fallen well off the wayside. Joe Williams on those 10-lap-old softs. He missed a trick a bit with his stop. Raj on those 12-lap-old softs as well. Certainly will be a sitting duck here for Deckers, you'd think. But the 5-lap tyre difference as well as the compound difference will be helping Deckers on his charge. And it does it? Oh no, that's Adley and Momo. So Adley jumps up into P3. He's going to have to get that 3-second gap. It's not going to happen on this lap, you wouldn't think. But it won't be as much of an impact, I wouldn't think. He might drop back in behind, probably in behind his teammate or just in front of his teammate with his penalties. So Momo knows not to do anything silly, to sit in behind, especially with the track limit penalty like that.
Not wrong though. Danny Wong and Brian Tan absolutely walked away with this one. They are coming around the final sector now. Danny especially, absolutely commanding performance coming from the reverse grid position he started at and storming away with this one. P1 Danny, very nice work from you. Grid Jokes, check out his Instagram, you'll love it. Brian Tan, P2. So our...
Momo gets back. Does he? No. It looked like Momo had got past Adley on track. Adley only drops down. I think I only did a P6, so that's not as bad a result as
Nah, you'll be very happy with that.
Thought.
From where he started, there was just he made up 14 spots or 13 or something, so very nice for him. Watching Aloysius come around now, who was involved in an incident lap 1. Andrew Alcia looked really pacey tonight.
Just not long enough on the track to get to him.
Yep.
Joe Williams with the last one across the line to finish Tier 2 for this Sunday night. Round 10 of 12. What a night. The Tier 2. Bit of carnage.
We had
Good
stacks
strategy.
of votes for our poll, by the way. Is it going to rain today? Well, we had stacks of votes for it. Hopefully those votes come to fruition in Tier 1. I'd like to see some rain in Tier 1. Adley is saying, driver of the day. And that is Danny Wong taking some selfies. He's up there in P1. Nicely done from him. Brian Tan in P2. So that's P1 and P2 in the Drivers' Championship. P1 and P2 in Race 2 tonight. Momo, as you said, massive bag of points for him tonight, winning Race 1 and finishing P3 here in Race 2. Gerald Tube, what a great performance that is from all the way back in P13. Raj from P11 also doing very well, and Adley also doing very well from P18. Travis Murdoch also from P15 doing very well. Declan's not quite getting it done for P7. Dale Beveridge, Theodore Them rounding out the top 10 up there. Joel Barry, Mohammed Haman, Adriel Sia, Aloysius Lim. Jared Ellis on his birthday managed to get into race 2 and finish P15. Joe Williams filling in tonight, doing very nicely, as well as Jesse McLean, 16 and 17. And Mohammed Afan, currently P3 in the championship, DNF here in race 2. Unfortunate for him. Manages to pick up the purple lap, so he'll pinch 1 point, but a small consolation prize for him. Mike Cassini and Nelful Hammer rounding out the 20 with DNFs of their own. Whew. Tom Riley.
What a race. What an evening for Tier 2. And it's only going to get better. Tier 1 with all the drama that happened last week with disconnects and wheel failures and this, that and the other, and then all the penalties that had to play out on that last lap. Gee
We said last week, does Tier 1 impress us as much as Tier 2 did, and we said surely not, because Tier 2 was off the table, and Tier 1, they
Absolutely showed up, didn't
Did they ever?
Oh,
So let's
my
hope for the
word.
same tonight. We will pray for some rain. We'll take a short break, and then we'll probably come back and talk about Aston Martin's vehicle for 2022. But until then, have a milk. Moisture time, right? I can see moisture. Oh, I'm back.
Oh, my word.
Goodness me, I'm back. I'm back for the moisture. Woohoo! Here we go.
Oh, Jerome Parsy's out. Oh, dear.
Nick Randall's out as well. Nick Randall.
Oh, and Andre McLeod's out as well.
Get on the side. Andre McLeod's also out. Oh, it's all happening. Oh, moisture. 3 DNFs. Straight off the bat.
Join.
Goodness me. No rest for the wicked. I went to scratch myself and I looked over at the screen. I saw moisture and I ran back. Oh, yes, I love it. Wow, all right, let's take stock. What are we looking at? I'll tell you what we're not going to be seeing is mid-106s from Tier 1.
Nah. Throw that bet out the window, JC. Not happening.
Yep. Put the milk back in the fridge for that one. So we've got Jerome Pass, who's posted a lap. And it's good enough for P13 at the moment. You wouldn't suggest that lasts very long. We've got Nick Randall, who was disqualified in qualifying. So we've seen that happen before when maybe he's just spun in the pit lane and couldn't get it going again, or so he just sat there and spun the wheels or something, and the game said, right, bugger off. Anything could happen there. Andre McLeod, Torterra, also DNFing, so... Oh boy, wowee, what about that? That is... What a start to Tier 1. Goodness me, I wasn't ready, but I am now. I'm up and about. Here we go. W. Sadat, welcome to the grid. Thank you for subscribing. Good to have you here. You're about to see all sorts of drama unfold. We've got 4 rounds to go. 3, if my maths is any good. And this is one of them. A wet Brazil. Currently only in qualifying, so we'll have to see what the race throws up. But tell you what, Tier 1 have had plenty of wet qualifyings, if I remember correctly, this season.
Absolutely. Certainly has mixed up the grid a fair bit.
They are our best drivers, but they have certainly been asked to perform at their best. All on the intermediates, so clearly not wet enough for anyone to throw on the wet boots and have a crack, but we're seeing the McLaren fellas up in front there at the moment, demonstrating they are well and truly pacey. I see Peter Key in P4 at the moment. He registered early on in the season. And then thought about that's a tyre.
There's still a tyre on the track.
What's going on there? Come on, Marshall, get your shit together.
That's from Jaden Shear's teammate. Is that who it is from?
I'm pretty sure it is from the accident before. There's no other accidents that we've seen, so that is the Marshals just not quite getting the job done. It's gone now. They've sorted it out. But that
How many laps? How many laps do you reckon they run on the inters? Because there wouldn't be much benefit in running. But there would be probably the same lap times if you run 1 lap versus 2. The only thing will be is your DRS that you might lose out on. The Jackie here, a little bit wild. Oh, and that's not how you want to do it. But he's still going, so we're going to get around.
Going to be able to continue. That tyre is back. I don't know if that's not Connor's tyre, obviously. So that's clearly a little visual glitch. That tyre's not actually there. Where some drivers are seeing it on their way around, some are not. I think our broadcast camera is picking it up, but maybe driver-specific cams are not. We jump on board here with Jacob Weatherburn. We'll see if he can see it. He can't, but broadcast can. That is what that is. That is a broadcast camera bug. Wonder if that hangs around for the race. That'd be funny.
Oh, gosh, if it does, gee whiz. Things would be broken. What's going on here? That's out of
Line
the
of
pit
feet.
lane. That's
Qualified from session, blocking the pit lane.
that must be what it was for Nick Randell.
So Nick Randell got into chat though. He said he hates the infield, so he spun onto the grass and got disqualified for driving the wrong way. So he's spun it at the last corner, and there's that sort of it could have been any corner, let's be honest. But yeah, just found his way onto the grass there and tried to get back on track safely. And Codemasters said no, none of that.
So we're seeing some drivers have done 2 laps and 3 laps on their engine that they've got fitted at the moment. I'll tell you what would be great if you could see what tyre set they did their fastest lap on and how many laps they did. Look at the McLaren's leading at the moment. 15.5 for each of them. Dimitri Froster and Hongi Wang.
There it is. You have had your wish granted. So Dimitri's done 1 lap on his intermediates for that top time, whereas Hongi did 3 laps to put that 15.5 out there, which is just
Jack Smith jumps up, just threads himself inside the tiniest gap. Oh my word. It's wet, that gap should not be that close.
What?
Hongi on the
Hongi on the
softs,
softs.
what is going on here?
It is still raining, so I'm not sure that's intentional.
Unless he's hoping that the track dries up and he can get out on the softs.
Robert Wenzel about to come out of the pits too. We'll see what he's on.
Dimitri Froster goes quicker with a 14.9. So he bangs in a
14.
very
That's
fast
half
lap.
a second quicker than what we thought was going to be. Yeah, that's
So
absolutely.
how long do you reckon until it's still raining though? So I don't think we're going to see any soft
Switherburn
runners
split
yet.
himself
But
into P2 there as well, actually, by the way, while we weren't looking. He's sort of
Yeah,
very close to that gap as well.
that's O'Gold, who's
So
spun
both
at
Mercedes
Center
drivers
S's.
really struggling. Connor, we've already seen have an accident. That is O'Gold getting all spun up as well.
4 drivers out of qualifying, 2 from incidents and 2 from disqualification. 1 for blocking the pit lane, and we think 1 for driving the wrong way on track. Or driving the wrong way off track for that matter.
Oh,
That is also off track for Robert Wenzel. That's, whoa. Has he still got front wing?
Yeah, he looks
He
like
does,
he's all together.
somehow. Gee whiz.
On his outlap too, so you can see how treacherous the conditions are. These are our best drivers, and we've had a couple DNF, we've had plenty spin. And this is on outlaps and stuff, so it's not like it's easy to drive around on intermediates. It's certainly wet enough to cause all
So
sorts of
what have we
issues.
got? So I think we might have Connor Kingston getting a slipstream from Zachary James, as Kajaki just lights up the revs and things are going every which way on that stream. But either way, it doesn't have the slipstream that he would have wanted from his teammate. So
Nathan Monks has slipped in there too. He's up in P2 at the moment, so there's a couple of drivers just finding a way to improve and slip themselves. This is going to be a very topsy-turvy top 10. We've got Alex Bowen down there in P10. He's out of position. Zachary James currently down there in P15. He's nowhere near it. So there's still plenty of action left to happen in this 10 minutes. But look at the rainbow you've got happening in that top 7, 8, 9 drivers. It's all sorts of colours up there at the moment.
we got yellows again. That looks like a Red Bull that's gone around. Rob Wenzel, he's been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. So this track, he's certainly playing havoc on a lot of drivers here.
Such a tricky pit lane in the best of conditions because it's sort of left and right, and you can easily spin them up. It's downhill too on the initial out, so it's just so easy.
Robert Wenzel was on track, so I think he's lost that into the exit of turn 3. So he grabbed a little bit of the inside curb, looped the car, and the car just ended up on that inside. Couldn't get the car going quick enough.
It's unlucky. Worst part about a disqualification is too, you may have posted a lap that put you P4 or P5, but if you get disqualified, you end up at the back regardless of how good your lap was. So it's not like a DNF. Pretty heavily penalised or punished for it. Jesus.
I think you went the wrong way there.
I absolutely murdered that sentence.
Zachary James, he's out.
Oh, goodness me.
He
Well,
just
it is a
goes,
DNF. There he is.
he's done what everyone else
Oh,
does.
there's another one. They're all falling off the track as we watch. Peter Key not quite getting it done. He's managed to continue on, but even our top drivers, as you said, Zachary James, currently in P2, is dead on the side of the road. Peter Key saw him off on the edge there and thought,
There's no
"Oh."
front wing.
So he had a little sympathy spin.
Oh, slow it up, mate. Take it easy.
Oh, okay, so we've joined this session late, which another Codemasters bug has reared its head here. We don't actually have 8 minutes to go, so we're living on the edge. We don't know how long's to go. A couple of drivers on their outlap, they know how long to go. But we don't have 8 minutes left. We've got, I don't know, 3 or 4 maybe? We don't know. Oh, spicy! That's
Very
invalidated.
spicy.
Zachary Smith cutting all sorts of curb there. Lighting up his track map crimson, so that's not going to count. Ben Curtis. If the Haas has an ass that is slippery at the best of times, I wonder what it's like in the wet. He would be drifting some of these corners, I would suggest. He'll be looking forward to getting out of this car at the end of the season, that's for sure. He's on his lap now. And he will turn onto the home straight. Hopefully get the traction down as good as possible. And Diabols, absolutely an OR favourite. Plenty of supporters, including Aussie Donkey, his Haas teammate in Tier 2 in chat, giving him his support. Very tidy first sector there, so that looked good. Currently sitting at the rear of the field in terms of drivers still on track. Obviously, Jeroen, having posted the time, is behind him, but he will be looking to improve. Looked like a very tidy first sector and managed to get it swung in there nicely through the double right-hander and missed the apex there a little bit. But still looking reasonably tidy. Hasn't had too many overcorrections, hasn't had to snap or really recover himself, so looking okay for now. We'll see what his sector time is here. As he comes up to complete sector 2, he's 2/10 up, so he'll gain a couple of spots if he gets a good exit. He did get a little snap there, a little oversteer.
They managed to correct it nice and quickly, so it shouldn't be that much of an impact for him. A straight line this last corner. Not quite as tight as we've seen. Just jumps up 2 spots in a P13. So he'll be hoping to improve on that as well.
I don't know if he
Looks like
will, as you
James
said.
going
I
up.
don't think we've got 6 minutes left, so I don't know if that's his last lap and that's where he's going to land.
Dimitri Forrester here though, quickest through that first sector. Unless that is a visual glitch, we know there's quite a few, but either way, we're going to wait and see. See what he's like when he comes through these tight right, left-handed sections in the second sector. See how much time he's gained on himself. Looks very neat and tidy this lap. He's hitting all the apexes, using lots of the curb in these conditions. Nice and easy on the throttle. Not even getting full throttle at the moment. Use that curve to try and rotate the car. Goes quickest in the middle sector. He's 2/10 up on his best. So what are we going to see? We're going to see
Backing lap for Dimitri.
something in the region of a 14.5 maybe.
Hugs the inside all the way down and smashes his PB.
14.8.
14.8.
So he must have had a bit of slipstream on his fast lap.
Oh, there's
Oh, that's
another
peaky.
dead.
That's a DNF.
That is the DNF.
Oh
That is
no.
PK. Not the first time we've seen him end up in the wall, but that is the result of that one. He's dead. Currently in P3, so reasonable lap to get into that position. But we'll have to see how many drivers here. There's a couple on their outlaps. That's Mitch Weatherburn off track and invalidated on his lap. So he won't be posting a better time.
How long have we got left? That's the question.
I don't mind this, to be honest. It's almost like going to the footy and it's the last quarter and you've got the count up clock. You've got no countdown clock and you're just hanging on the edge of your seat without knowing when the siren's going to sound. The anticipation, I love it. Some people like that countdown clock. I'm all for the count up clock and not knowing how long left to go.
Now, I'm a Bomber supporter, so that last season, it was painful. The amount of times we were, even, you know, the amount of games that I've been to where we've been down in the last quarter and we've kicked a goal and you don't know when the siren's going to go. And
it's intense. I love it.
I think it was a game against North Melbourne a couple of years ago, 2019, and McDonald Tim Woody kicked a goal with only 31 seconds or something left on the clock, but in the ground you had no idea. You thought it was the last play of the game, and ridiculous. All that being said, Zach Smith jumped up to P2, displays Zachary James. Nathan Monk's here. He looked like he was on a pretty good lap. Where's he going to drop up?
Yo!
He goes up to P2.
Nice one.
10th and 3/4 down.
Oh, very good from Connor Kingston too. That's a great lap to put him up in P4. So we are seeing the top of this leaderboard shake up a little bit. Connor out qualifying his Mercedes teammate. Here's Hong Yi. He was previously up there at the top of the leaderboard with his McLaren teammate. So
we've now seen checkers.
Oh,
we have seen checker
6/10
flags.
up is Hong Yi. Hello. If he gets this last corner right, he's going to get a tow from Yoda here too. Hong Yi looking for pole here.
He's up turbo.
He is on a tear. And if I'm not mistaken, that is Hong Yi on pole. Bang!
Woo! Where's his teammate? His teammate's going to come across the line. Does he improve? No, he doesn't. So, going to be McLaren 1-2 at the moment, provisionally. Got Ethan Small here. Where's he going to finish? He doesn't improve. He stays P12. Kajaki here. Was he up on his own time?
Unhappy. I don't know. I don't even know if anyone's allowed to complete this lap. We don't know how much time's left. He's coming in the pits. He's done. We don't know who's on a valid lap. We don't know who's still racing. There's checkered flags everywhere. That's it. That is Hong Yi on pole, ladies and gentlemen. With an absolute banging last lap. It is McLaren 1-2. And that will really, really help their Constructors' Championship for certain. Currently leading the way there. And they only picked up a single point last week in Australia. But that is a great way to start Tier 1 for them. McLaren, P1 and P2. Hong Yi P1, Dimitri P2. Nathan Monks with a banger overlap as well, P3. Great way to start the night for those guys. Alex Bowen, Zachary Smith, Connor Kingston. Some regular names up there at the top of the field. Kyle Jackson managing to put himself between the two Mercedes. Peter Key racing with us tonight. Mitch Weatherburn in P10. And then Nick Randall, Warnefeek, Robert Wenzel, and Andre McLeod all not posting time, so they will start from the back of the field. Oh, wowee. We love a wet qualifying at the best of times, but that had everything. Goodness me. Speaking of everything, green is my favourite colour, and this livery does it for me.
I think the classic Aston Martin colours of green and that lime green as well really complement each other really well. The one thing that I'm not a huge fan of, and watching the reveal I wasn't a huge fan of either, is the plastering of the Aramco on the side pod. It's a lot there. And then also on the rear wing. Livery wise, that's all I can complain about. Looks wise, it's got quite an upswept front nose. So the leading edge of that front wing is quite upswept compared to what we've seen, compared to what's previously been done. But that's, of course, to benefit the underfloor aero. The difference with the Aston Martin and the McLaren, which we'll show after the first race tonight, is the how they've used the side pods. So I'll point it out on the Aston Martin, but the Aston Martin has quite deep side pods with the radiator openings, exhaust across the top through those fish gill-looking things.
Gills, don't they? Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I was watching a video and they discussed it, and the idea is that they're going to sweep the air under the front wing. Oh, we're going straight into it, so we'll have to discuss it when we discuss the McLaren.
I was hooked there. That's it's a lovely livery from Ashton in their British green. Mac Daddy in chat, well done in Tier 2 tonight. Thank you very much for the $4.49. A very specific donation from you. Hopefully we'll see you back again, filling in for the rest of the season if some cars can't make it for Tier 2. But here we go. Tier 1, dry weather. Not a cloud in the sky. 4 red lights, 5 red lights. McLaren 1-2 from the start. They will lead us away. Hong Yi gets a really good start there, to be honest. In fact, Dimitri looked like he got swallowed up by the Alpine of Alex Bowen. Alex Bowen down the inside will take P2. No, he won't. Dimitri fights back. Side by side they remain. Alex Bowen just creeping in front there, and it looks like he will get it done down into turn 4. So great start from Alex. Dimitri just spun him up a little bit at the start. Very clean tier 1. Nice work. Keep it like that. There's no curses here. Love to see all 20 cars making
We've
around
got
that
yellows
one.
though. We've got
mine. Ethan Small.
And Nick Randell have been involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a DNF though, so they'll keep going.
Yeah, nothing too serious or sinister there. That is a send by Zachary James up the inside of Nathan Monks there. Nathan Monks not necessarily interested in giving that position easy, but on the soft tyres, Zachary James goes bang and has that position. So up to P5 he goes. And Connor Kingston has dropped back down to P11 after out-qualifying his teammate. So not sure what he's done on the first lap, but he has dropped down to P12. He's really struggling, obviously having some issues. Nathan Monks here, chasing around his temporary teammate for the evening. Peter Key joining us tonight. After, as I said, registering his interest early on the season. He is making his debut in this season, at least tonight. Nathan Monks around the outside, but Peter defending well. Giving up that position. Nathan's dropped down 4 spots in the first lap, so not ideal for him. Connor as well, down 6, and Ethan Small down 8. Alex Bowen, what a great start from him. Up 2 spots from P4 down the inside of Dimitri Forrester in the first turn. Zachary Smith, nice and steady from him, as always, very dependable.
I won't lie, I got slightly confused, and we've done it before. We did it at Silverstone too. In the comms box. I think it's just me this time, but of course wet qualifying, so free tyre choice to start the race. Zach Smith just picks up the power a bit too soon, a bit too eagerly, loses the rear a bit. Nathan Monks misses the apex. That corner there. So a lot of medium runners to start with. So we've got 15 medium runners, 14 medium runners I should say.
A big part of the reason Alex got such a good start was those soft tyres just gripping up. He's putting in some fast laps here too, so he is on. Alex Bowen tonight, the boy from Rabunya.
Right on the back of Hongier here. Of course, this is that battle we're watching. This is the battle for P12.
Oh, is that Diabol's around the outside of Jaden Chow? No, it's around the outside of Connor Kingston, and he does so. Very nice. Connor Kingston is dropping back through the field. He hasn't pitted, so not carrying any damage, just can't quite find the pace on those mediums initially. Down to P15 now.
Is there a chance he's missing an M plate or something? Because he's dropped back a long way and he can't stay with these cars in front.
He's got all those pieces. They're all on. He's got no damage. As far as I can tell, that is a front wing intact, so just can't quite bring the mediums up to temperature and get them going. But he has dropped a long way from his starting position.
I think that might be one of the things we've seen from Kajaki this season is his prime tyre option. His prime tyre running hasn't been the greatest. Prime tyre is, of course, being medium. Alex Bowen here goes even quicker as he takes the lead of the race too. So Zach James jumps up into P3, so he's going to start charging now to catch the 2 ahead of him. Kenneth Bang here, battling with Carl Jackson. Jackson harvesting some energy there as well at the same time.
Kingston has dived into the pits now, so obviously enough is enough for him. He wants to get those soft boots on as quick as possible, and he will try and run 14 laps on them. And maybe
needs 1 or 2 safety cars, I think, to really give himself that advantage. The early stop onto the softs.
Not a bad start from Nick Randell. Came from the back of the field. He's up there in P16. And Mitch Weatherburn here. After a few instances under safety car last week, one which he was in front for and one which he was behind for. I think he tapped his brother. So he probably not hoping for any safety cars tonight, because clearly they caused some issues for a couple of these drivers. Still looking to see what happens in terms of positions for that, but at the moment all he will be focused on is the back of Nathan Monks and trying to get past him. He's certainly used a fair bit of that battery in the first couple of laps trying to stay with this group ahead of him. He is on the medium tyres. He's done pretty well to gap Kyle Jackson behind him, so he's in a pretty good spot there. But Nathan Monk's here, who we said has dropped a couple. And Peter Key come around, pressuring the back of Zachary Smith, who I believe was behind before, so Zachary Smith has got that job done at some point.
Peter Key does what Zach Smith does when we last on board from the car behind. So, just picks up the power a little bit early. Peter Key here though, right up the back. Nice and precise, hits that apex, uses the exit curb. Doesn't use any battery yet, so he's going to get DRS though. Just fallen a bit too far back. Zachy Smith might have just used a bit himself. We do have a car round. It is Robert Wenzel. He spun at John Cow there. That's not ideal for him. But sort of going 2 by 2 through those top 4, and then this battle here that we're watching really closely between for P5 with Zach Smith, Peter Key, and Nathan Monk's all involved. Kyle Jackson, you just can see this battle, so he'll be hoping for maybe a little bit of mistake, maybe a little bit of contact, get some spots here. But he's on the soft, so he will gain some time as long as those soft tyres stay in the window. Tell you what, we see a safety car here, they'll be certainly straight in the box. Most of these front runners, of course, double stacking will impact on the McLarens and the Ferraris at a minimum.
We had a safety car lap 10 of Tier 2, so that's what I'm waiting for. We were sort of lulling into a false sense of security in Tier 2, thinking this has just developed into a nice race. There's a couple of DRS trains here, and we're probably just going to watch nothing else. And then bang! It all happened all at once. So, wouldn't be surprised if the same thing here happens in Tier 1. You never know what you're going to get. Jacob Wedderburn, Yoda, coming up behind Ben Curtis / Diabols. They're following Jerome pass around, by the way, who started from pretty far down the field, so he's done very well for himself up there in P11. On his soft tyres, he's had 5 positions. Jacob Wedderburn shows his nose and brakes later. Ben Curtis, known for his clean driving, allows that one to happen. So Jacob grabs one there. And we'll now start to pressure Jeroen. Jeroen, the Dutchman. He was the strongest advocate for Max Verstappen, obviously being a Dutch nationalist himself. He was very happy when the man won in the last race of last season. So Alex Bowen dives in the pits there. Lap 7. That is around about where we saw Tier 2 perform. We had a couple on lap 6, a couple on lap 7. Actually ticks over lap 8 now, so he's stretched that out as long as he can. We'll jump on the mediums now and we resume proceedings here with the McLarens leading the way. Jackson chasing down Nathan Monks. Nathan Monks right on the back of Peter Key and Zachary Smith, and Peter Key and Zachary Smith haven't left each other's side for most of this race. It's Andre McLeod.
Yeah.
Not his day today at the moment. Disqualified or DNF'd or something in qualifying, and now finds himself at the back of the field and with some very hot tyres to be sure. Jackson just slowly watching this one develop. He is on soft tyres, so we're expecting to dive into the pits here.
Hong Yi dives into the pits, trying to cover off the undercut.
Well, doesn't dive into the pits. He carries on. Clearly thinks he's got some life left.
He's just been stuck in behind these guys. He's sort of come up to them, so I would have thought he would have boxed given how quickly he caught up, but either way.
He just wants to use the DRS while he's got it.
Going to bang in the pits as well, as long as Jacob Wedderburn. So Hong Yi here, has he covered off the undercut from Alex Bones? Could be tight on exit. Going to be really tight coming up to turn 4. Hong Yi will stay in front.
He gets that done. Yeah.
So gets the overcut to work for him.
is now on the superior tyre as well as Hong Yi. So looking very good for a podium here in race 1. As we saw, clearly had a handle on the wet conditions in qualifying, but also demonstrating his strengths here in the dry. Key still trying to hunt down Smithy. Go down the inside here. Smithy taking a very wide line. And Peter Key gets that one done, so I'm not sure with the camera angle switching over there whether it was a bit of wheel to wheel, but he's actually gapped him pretty considerably there, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was maybe some slight contact, but up the inside Peter Key went and finds himself in the lead of this race at the moment, obviously provisionally having not pitted on those mediums. Kyle Jackson now smelling some blood in the water, right behind Smithy on those soft tyres, which he is stretching out. He is the only soft runner to have gone to 9 laps tonight in either Tier 2 or this race. So just really stretching out those softs. It's Dimitri, who has pitted and is now behind Alex Bowen, Zachary James and Mitch Weatherburn, so the pit stop's not quite worked out for him. He's lost a handful of positions during his pit stop.
Yeah, Zach James and Mitch Weatherburn, of course, gained with that pit stop, but Mitch Weatherburn, 2-lap older tyres on the faster compound, though. Hong Yi bangs in a 7.8. Where that goes. Zach James here, no DRS, he's going to be sitting dark. Oh, moves
Zachary
late.
James move across late. Yeah, he covers off Dimitri trying to come up the inside. But Mitch Weatherburn, nice move up the inside there. So he grabs himself P4, which is probably P3 once Kyle Jackson pits. Kyle Jackson, by the way, doing the bender strat up there in P1. Love that. 10 laps on those softs now.
Softs. He's hoping. It just doesn't work for him, though. Being on the soft tyre, here you'd want to be on the mediums and trying to get the soft tyres to run those 8 laps or so to the end, but on the wrong tyre. Nathan Monks picks up a 3-second penalty here. Nick Randell's had something happen. Jacob Weatherburn picks up a penalty as well. So penalties coming thick and fast here. Interesting to see from here how long does Kyle Jackson have. Surely he's in this lap. He has to be. He's in this lap.
Yep.
So, and do we see Nick Randell and Ethan Small duck in as well now? Or it's just off the back of Zach Smith here. You'd think they'd duck in as well. See whether they do. They both duck into the pits, so that'll cover off their pit stop as well. So Kyle Jackson goes the medium tyres. He's dropped back behind Zach Smith. But really, no, not a bad result at all. Mitch Weatherburn, one of the gainers. Zach James, one of the gainers.
Smithy,
Nathan Monks.
2-6-10, but I'd love to see this battle continue because Smithy has gone around the outside, if you don't mind. That is some classy driving. Wowee, what a move that was. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but these two have been battling all night long, and we think there may have been a touch into turn 1, so Peter won't give up on it, but that is a move around the outside there from Zachary Smith, so he gets that one back.
Absolutely. I was just saying that Nathan Monks, he gained on these 2 cars behind him with that 1 lap earlier stop. Other than that, no real moving and shakers. Peter Key's into the pits. What's going on here?
What is that all about?
Is this some damage, or is this... What is that about?
Surely has to be damage. What other reasons he got to duck in the pits there? He's on bloody brand new softs. He's being held up by the
It is a front wing.
There's damage, yeah. So
Wonder where he picked that up from. Maybe he just ran over a curb, or maybe he's made some contact somewhere.
we saw Smithy get a really good run out of turn 5, which is what created that outside move around 6 and 7. So
maybe there was just a little tiny touch.
I Those two had again some contact. They've been battling all night, but that'll be the end of that. Peter Key finds himself back in 17th, and Smithy will carry on his chase down of Zachary James. The two Zacharys together again up there in 5th and 6th, but this is Mitch Weatherburn all up in Alex Bowen's business. Alex doing very well for himself already tonight.
Yeah, I think I was just going to point out that Peter Key's still come out in front of Connor Kingston. So his 8-lap-old softs have basically had it by now, you'd think. That's a fair run from him, but that was
Those tricky blue cars, isn't it? They're pain in the ass.
Yeah, I think that might have, yeah.
He hasn't got it together tonight.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, this is going on here.
Here it is.
Alex Bone managed to stay in front of Mitch Weatherburn though, but Dimitri Forrest is right up in their guts here.
Yeah, Zachary James only a 10th behind them too. Here he is, there he is. Oh, I thought he was going to go there and he didn't, but he's forced Dimitri right down the inside here. That'll compromise his exit for certain. In fact, he gets all sorts of crossed up. So Zachary James and Zachary Smith as well, right behind this battle. Getting all sorts of, that is an interesting pink helmet there from Dimitri. Big fan of that, just quietly. It's stood out. Look how close this battle is here. You got tenths and a couple of 4/10ths and all the way back to Nathan Monks.
Mitch Weatherburn gets that move done.
Zachary on Zachary action here.
Hold around the outside, that's a good move. Oh, but not over yet. These two mates, of course, will be racing together in the Bathurst 12 hour.
Yeah.
Of course, O'Gold coming off a really, really good win at Silverstone in the 12 hour.
Albeit on the superior tire managed to finish that one off, but then that invited Nathan Monks up, who has also pinched a position from Zachary James. So look how close this entire gaggle of field is. We watched Tier 2, we thought there was a couple of close cars there. There was 10 of them. Well, here's a handful for you. 5 or 6. All up here at the front. Mitch Weatherburn, Dimitri Forrester, Alex Bowen, Nathan Monks, Zachary James getting one back on Smithy. In fact,
Kingston
Nathan
picks
Monks
up 3
has got both
seconds.
of them. So Nathan Monks has got both Zacharys in the space of a lap. Smithy's lost out a little bit there.
Nathan Monks will be looking to get right up in behind Alex Bone too. Here's Dimitri Forrester on Mitch Weatherburn. They come up here. Can't quite get the move done. We will have DRS down here. This is a really, really good battle. 5 different manufacturers. Zach Smith's fallen right off the back of this though. He's dropping considerably, so I wonder if he's got some damage. I think Zach Smith might have some damage because he's dropped almost a second in the first sector alone. So, and he's still dropping off the back of this, so I think he might have some damage.
What a move. Nathan Monks up the inside. We watched Ogle Smithy go around the outside of that double right-hander. Nathan Monks goes up the inside of Alex Bowen there. So plenty of moves being done through that double right-hander. Nathan Monks having a great race, if you don't mind. After dropping a handful of positions early on, he's made his way back through the field and overtaking drivers with big names, including this man. Currently leading the charge with 313 points, but very closely followed by Dimitri Forrester in P2, who is currently on the podium in this race. So I'm sure we'll see another shake-up of the standings tonight.
I think Dimitri Forrester might be challenging for a McLaren 1-2 in this race. Got 4-lap younger softs. Probably not quite close enough. He'll have to get a good run onto the main straight. Could we see another battle to the finish line?
In this race, let's do ourselves a favour and keep an eye on P10. We said that Smithy was dropping back through the field, but he is currently P10 and basically 6 seconds in front of Jacob Weatherburn with that pen. So
But Ben Curtis isn't that far back either. So
all eyes on the front here.
Oh, I think Zach Smith might lose P10 here. He'll at least drop in either in front or behind Jacob Weatherburn, depending on how far back he drops. But here we go. Move for P2. There you go, either side of the track. And Dimitri Forrester gets it done. DRS, lots of battery being used. Only thing is, Mitch Weatherburn might get a run. Oh, he's got a 3-second penalty. Basically confirms a McLaren 1-2. That really sucks for him. Zachary Smith, as I said, probably got some damage.
Alex Bowen, if you don't mind, doing nicely there with no pens. If he can hold on to that for the last lap, he'll find himself on the podium pretty quickly.
Absolutely. These guys battling, though. Mitch Weatherburn and Nathan Monks now. So these guys are battling for effective position. Not in the order, but position on themselves. Yeah, Zach Smith, I think he's missing a right end plate. What I could see there. So he's losing out big time.
He's dragging it home, though. I saw Peter dive into the pits with what was probably a similar issue, and he finds himself back there in 19th. So Zachary,
yeah, I think Ben Curtis might take home P10, but Hong Yi and Dimitri Forrester round out a McLaren 1-2 here at Brazil. Well done to the both of those lads. Mitch Weatherburn comes home for P3. Alex Bone takes it without penalties. Nathan Monk, Zach James, Kenneth Ang, Kyle Jackson, Jaden Chia, and I think it will be Ben Curtis will take home P10. Jacob Weatherburn across P10 across the line. Ben Curtis will take it. Zach Smith, does he get it? He does get it in front of Jacob Weatherburn, but he'll start 11th, so he misses out on taking reverse grid pole. Minor peak here, he'll come across the line for P14. Connor Kingston, Nick Randell misses out on his 14th spot by 0.02 of a second. That's as small as a bee
That's
stick.
as close as it gets, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah. Robert Wenzel comes across the line after he got disqualified from qualifying. So, but that'll be race 1 done of Tier 1 tonight. Mitch Weatherburn gets driver of the day. Well done to him.
But McLaren get a great big bag of points with their 1-2, and they will really, they're already 50 points clear in Tier 1, so they'll be enjoying that. Hong Yi absolutely dominated tonight in race 1. 8 seconds clear of his teammate in P2, Dimitri Forrester. Alex Bowen on the podium. Keeping it clean, no pens, finds his way up there. Mitch Weatherburn, Nathan Monk, Zachary James, Kenneth Ang, Kyle Jackson, Jaden Chia, and Ben Curtis. Steyerbols will start from P1 in race 2, if you don't mind. So we'll see what he can do with that. He is a man known for not necessarily defending as hard as he probably could, but I'd be interested to see when he's up there on pole position whether that changes. So we'll look forward to that. Zachary Smith, as you said, just missing out on pole, but he does grab himself a purple lap and a point in consolation. Whew. Tell you what, race 1.
No safety cars that race either.
Kept it pretty clean.
So, but
Everyone
I think
finished, no DNFs. So
I certainly think that race 2 will be more willing from all the drivers.
Well, we know what happens when you reverse a grid. You know, F1 doesn't matter. It causes fun. So very much looking forward to that. We know that it'll take them a few minutes to reverse the grid and set up manually. So
I suppose we can probably we'll go back to talking about that Aston Martin, I suppose. Shall we?
It is a beautiful British green Aston Martin. Yeah, big fan of that, of what they've done with that. As you said, that little lime green accent that ran down the side. Very nicely done. Very tasteful. Tell you what I am looking forward to seeing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I may have seen that the Alpine have BWT, not BWT.
They do.
Is it BWT? And therefore they're going to have like this blue and pink number?
I think they probably will. It'll depend on how much BWT have taken. Of course, they've taken title sponsor of Alpine now as well. So it'll be interesting to see. Of course, they release this week, I think. So
because their current livery is a fan favorite. When they brought out the Alpine and it was the blue, white, red, everyone loved that.
Absolutely.
Do you think the pink in exchange for the red is going to tilt people? Because obviously pink's a pretty divisive color.
I think they've got to be really careful because obviously the design for the Alpine livery last season was French flag. French national flag. So
Of course.
if they try and do anything with the pink, it's gonna be really difficult because you can't have pink and red together because they just contrast and they clash so much. So you can't really have them together. So I don't know. Depend how much BWC want to take the pink, I suppose.
Does it get the female demographic back into F1? I know from personal experience, my daughter was all about that pink racing point, and she would want to get onto the computer just to drive the pink car, and then she totally lost interest last year because there was no pink car. You can't even tell her what a Formula One car is. So I'm interested in that and how much that plays a part. And whether
I think it'll be too difficult to do without harking back to Racing Point. I think that's the issue they've got. If they go too pink, it'll be too much like a Racing Point. And if they don't, then, well, who knows? Alpine will release next Monday. So not this Monday coming up, the Monday after. Alfa Romeo will follow them.
So who is next? We got anyone this week?
This week we have, so we got Alpha Tauri. So there's the McLaren. We'll just flip that
Wait
the
for
right
it
way
to
around.
get orientated properly.
Yep. So we've got Alpha Tauri, Williams, Ferrari, and Mercedes this week.
All right, looking good. Yeah, we've got it the right way up now.
Oh, perfect.
Spider pig. Spider pig.
Good.
Does whatever a McLaren does.
There we go. I'm a big fan of the more blue that they've brought in and the lighter blue.
The lighter blue, yeah.
Yeah. I think that'll look great going fast.
I'm not a massive fan of Velo being on the side.
Yeah, it's difficult when you got to put a major sponsor on though. And they pay a lot of money for obviously front wing, side pod, and also on the very tip of the nose. But as I was saying before, with the Aston Martin having those fish looking gills, the McLaren has actually chosen for. No, they haven't chosen for the gills, but they've chosen for a more traditional radiator exit, which is through the back of the car around the engine. So that'll come right out through the middle around the rear wing support. And they've also gone for a much sharper side pod idea. So whereas the Aston Martin had the air sweeping down under the side pod over the bottom, over the floor for any, above floor aero, the McLaren is actually running over the top of the side pod and is actually sweeping it over the side pod and back either around the rear wheel.
Does this count as wheel covers, what they've got there?
That is what the wheel covers are. Wake, I think the technical term is wake control devices.
And so those big ones that we saw before that literally cover the entire diameter, they're not necessary and maybe just used to hide their wake concealing devices. Is that what you said? Wake concealing devices?
Maybe. Not sure. We'll have to wait and see, but certainly some interesting colour changes and going on
we're
here.
seeing a green McLaren come out, the Aston McLaren.
Oh,
I like that. Hello.
That's a great look. You can certainly see there.
Take off the white wall tyres, and that's actually pretty hot.
Yeah, that's not bad, actually. It's a good invert. That's without the blue. So some people have been saying that the blue is a lot. I actually don't mind that. But one thing that McLaren did really well was they launched their Indy car and the McLaren F1 car, both of their Indy car entries, and their Extreme E car. And also somehow they've got a special event, sort of something or the other. So it looks like we've got a lot of people leaving the session, so there might be something wrong with the session.
Yeah, not enough players. So this is not the session we'll be watching. They will be restarting the grid and reforming. So what we'll probably do is take a short break while they sort that out. We will return in 2 to 3 minutes.
And we're back live. All the drivers readying up now, joining the session. So they'll have short amount of time to pick their tyres, put their setups on. I wonder how many we'll see off the medium or the soft runners. To start with, JC's just off for a
None.
couple
We're going to
of...
see none
he's
on
back.
softs or mediums because what we're going to see is rain and they're all going to be on wet tyres. And the only difference would be some running intermediates as a risk. Have some milk on that one. Ready? Here comes the rain. Ready? Ready?
Ah. Oh, I should have said yes.
Oh, win some, lose some.
That you do.
I have mentioned it earlier on in the season. I do actually like Tier 1 being dry because they're our best
The
drivers.
best of the best.
And we like to see them battle. We like to see them, being wheel to wheel. And when it's wet, they're a bit more timid, a bit more cautious. And all you do is see them spinning off the road. You don't get to see much battling. So I like to see Tier 1 in the dry. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So, yeah, as you said, won't take long and we'll be on the grid. And we will lead you away for race 2. And Ben Curtis will be on pole. Looking forward to seeing how much he gets his elbows out. I really do want to see a strong performance from Ben. Covering off the inside line and doing everything he can to hold on to as many positions as he can. Because he deserves a good position. He's been one of our quickest drivers over the last couple of years. Season in, season out, he's put in. So he's back further than he should be in that Haas. But we'll see how he goes down here in turn 1 with 5 red lights.
We're away. Ben Curtis will lead us away. Jaden Chia gets a good start alongside him. But it'll be Ben Curtis who leads into turn 1. Oh, Gold. He's battling for P4 at the moment. He gets that done. Sort of going 2 by 2 all the way back. Bit of field spread already. The front 2 have sort of dropped. Kenneth Ang. Zach James here. He'll be hounding on Kenneth Ang here. Trying to get some good points. Demetrius Forrester, he's up 2, or he's up 1. Oh yeah, he's dropping back through the field though. Oh no, he's back up in front of Jerome Parks.
All those mediums.
So we've got 2 soft runners. We've got 4 soft runners, I should say. 2 leaders.
Love reverse grids. We're seeing moves made already. You can see the Ferrari out pretty wide there. Nathan Monks, I think it was.
Yeah, absolutely was.
Zachary James, class above the rest, already up into P4, so he's had a cracking start.
Didn't have far to gain, but yeah, certainly Kenneth Ang here, falling off the back of these soft runners already. They're all battling themselves. Jaden Chair takes the lead now into turn 1, so they still be hoping to just gap these medium runners behind. Nick Randell and Andre McLeod already in the pits, and Nick Randell picks up a 5-second penalty. If you don't mind for speeding in the pit lane, that's not the way to start your race.
No, first one of those we've seen. There's been plenty of those tonight, really. This pit lane's a very high-speed pit lane on the entry, so just a couple not quite getting the anchors on early enough.
Yeah, certainly different to what we saw at Australia, where it's a tight entry inside the last corner, and then you accelerate up, but you can sort of gauge it a bit better, whereas here you're flat from the last corner all the way around that straight. Nathan Monks there just missing the apex a little bit. A little bit of push, understeer. This car hooked up nicely to this corner though. Jacob Weatherburn will be hounding the back of him. Zachary James pulling right up behind Kenneth Ang. He'll have slipstream up this straight. He'll be hoping to get the move done nice and early. Weatherburn here also in behind Kyle Jackson, trying to get the run as well. See, Jaden Chia does the fastest lap as you'd expect on those soft tyres. Still leading. Zach James doesn't quite get up as close as he wants, but he'll have DRS this lap. Down this straight here.
Mitch Weatherburn.
So Zach James gets the move done. Kenneth Ang tries to undercut him again. Sticks the nose up the inside. Zach James has to give a little bit of space. Kennethang just breathes out of the throttle a little bit just to get the understeer sorted. Just got to sit in behind now. Follow Zach James. He tries to chase down these guys who have only pulled out 1.5 seconds. Andre McLeod gets track limit warning penalty. So
early 3 seconds for that.
that is really early. That's at least 1 or 2 a lap. You get that. So that's not what you want to be. Kennethang just can't stay with Zach James though. Very quick though. He's already catching these guys in front by
With the
a
tyre
considerable
dip.
margin. Yeah, that really shows his outright pace overall. Ben Curtis has to tuck back in behind. See how much he gained though. He was up to just under a 10th, probably behind Jaden Chia. So nice and tight up the front. But Zach James, he's not far off the slipstream or the DRS now. So those guys up front haven't done enough there.
Burn down the inside of Kyle Jackson there. And Dimitri Forrester follows him through. So Kyle loses out a couple there. Nick Randell with the fastest lap, if you don't mind. Got himself plenty of clean air, obviously, but on the soft tyres, that's some nice pace from Nick Randell down there. So we'll hang his hat on that one for a little while. But you're not wrong, Zachary James closing the out now to the front. He just can't quite get within DRS before we get around there, but he'll hunt them down within the next couple of laps or so. On board with Alex Bowen here, as he also tries to catch Kyle Jackson. But he's got Zachary Smith and Nathan Monks right behind him, both very quick drivers. Bang, into the pits goes Alex Bowen on lap 5 to get rid of those mediums. So may have seen Kyle Jackson do 11 laps or something on the... Nah, surely not. You're trying to do 13 laps on these softs, Alex. What's he... No damage.
I think he's hoping for a safety car.
There's no damage there.
No.
So it is just a tyre change. Yeah, he might be banking.
Has to be
on it.
safety car idea.
Might be a master stroke if it comes to fruition, but if it doesn't, not sure that's the strat. We'll see how it plays out for Alex as he dives into the last 13 laps. He has got plenty of fresh air in front of him, as we've seen Nick Randell make the most of that fresh air and put in the purple lap. We'll see what Alex does here. But up the front, Ben Curtis has got in front of Jaden Chia again. So Jaden Chia, 6/10 behind, may have made a mistake up there on those softs. Ben Curtis leading us again. Hong Yi, not necessarily the greatest start.
He's back up to where he started though, which
He is
is
hovering around
okay,
P10,
but
yep.
sort of in that
Dimitri-
DRS train all the way back from Zach James here.
Dimitri's had a good start. And Jaden Chia's got Ben Curtis back again. So it's all happening up the front.
We've got yellows. Who's that around? That is a Andre McLeod who's having a horrible race tonight.
Hasn't quite got the setup on tonight or something, because, yeah, he just can't put it together.
We have lost a runner too. Peter Key, I don't see on the list here.
Yeah, well spotted.
So, looks like he's out. I think I saw that his internet was having some issues. So he won't be running. Connor Kingston also doing the early soft tyre stop. So maybe that's also banking on a safety car.
Nathan Monks has also done that. He's down there in P16. So a couple of drivers just thinking that the soft side... I don't know if they think the softs will stretch for 13 laps, or because we watched Kyle Jackson do it last race where he went 11 laps on those softs. So I don't know if a couple of those have seen that and thought, well, maybe if we can get into fresh air, well, you can bang out some bangers on the purple laps on these softs early on and cut all of these medium drivers. Speaking of mediums, here they come. Mitch Weatherburn, Kyle Jackson, Hong Yi and Jacob Weatherburn all smacking into the pits. Jacob last in line. Tries to make up some space in the pit lane and costs himself 5 seconds for doing so. So, safety car. That safety car's pulled out. We've had a death. Somewhere along the line, there is a death. I can't say who it is. It looks like there's an AlphaTauri who's disappeared. It's Kennethang. And it was a weird spot for a DNF, but he's found himself in the fence at around about turn 2 or 3.
Oh, Mitch Weatherburn has been absolutely shafted by the safety car. Oh, dearie me. He had to follow the safety car out of pit lane. That sucks.
Hasn't had the best of luck this season, poor old Mitch Weatherburn. He got off to a slow start with some DNS early on in the season, and then he had a couple of storming races, including, I mean, I tell you what, he's used up all his luck at Singapore. That's what happened. He had that bloody Oak rescue a
So many
$2,000
rounds
monitor
ago.
or whatever the bloody hell it was. He's used up all of his luck in that single action, has Mitch Weatherburn.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for him.
So the leaders pop into the pits now, still under safety car. Nice little result for them. But you would think it is Zachary Smith and Dimitri Forrester who benefit most from that. And Zachary James as well, jumping onto the soft tyres during the safety car, I think would be my preferred option.
Yep, absolutely. Have the fresh tyres, 10 laps to run on them. Nice double stack there from the Williams team. So look at all these cars coming out of pit lane. Alex Bone has gained. There's a lot going on here. Alex Bone does get in front of Dimitri Forrester. So Alex Bone does gain quite a lot from that. Of course, Juan Afik up there who hasn't stopped yet.
Well,
He's leading this field.
He's taken on the
Oh.
safety car. Hasn't worked for him, or has it not? Goodness me, here he is.
Absolutely has. He's running an effective P3 at the moment. He's got 2 laps older on those soft tyres, so he'll maybe towards the end of the race, maybe they would have fallen off a little bit. But certainly this safety car running will help reduce the impact there.
A different story for Connor Kingston, who we thought was doing the same strat, and finds himself down at P16. And
No, that's
Nathan
not good
Monk's-
for Mercedes
Nathan
challenge.
Monk's sort of in the middle of that strat. So it was Alex Bowen, Nathan Monks, Connor Kingston, and Nathan sort of P9. So it's worked well for Alex.
I think with Connor starting as far back as he did, certainly hasn't helped him out. Lots of traffic to try and get through. Yeah, not ideal. You could probably see one more lap of safety car. So safety car maybe be in this lap. About half the track for Andre McLeod to make up. Of course, going through that second right-hander in sector 2.
You're not wrong in terms of the constructors. It's been a pretty strong night for McLaren so far. Currently, Gold leading the way in P4 at the moment, just trying to recover as much as he can in that deficit. But Dimitri in P6 and Hong Yi in P10 have formed a pretty formidable duo all season long. Whereas Gold has sort of been left up the front by himself a few times. And again here tonight, leading the show for Mercedes. McLaren already 50 points out in the lead before tonight's proceedings. They will have extended that lead after race 1. Jaden Cheer getting all sorts of crossed up there under safety car. Manages to hold on to it and keep it out of the wall, but Ben Curtis got a prime view of that. Almost death from Jaden. So our 2 front runners from the start of the race, Jaden Cheer and Ben Curtis, still up the front now. And on fresh tyres behind Juan Afik, who is yet to pit. Juan with the opportunity now to lead the field away as he sees fit. So just trying to get some more back into those 8-year-old tyres. Yep, they're pretty old.
Yeah, very old.
Jaden Cheer just crawling up on.
Juan Afik does get the good jump.
Did get a good jump. Yep.
Zach James here, he's going to look straight for an overtake on Ben Curtis.
3 wide.
It's all going on.
Oh, they've done well to avoid
Gold
all
gets through. Oh my word, it's all going on. Alex Bone.
Sideways there. Dimitri goes around the outside of him. And on soft tyres, he now right up the rear bumper of Ben Curtis, who didn't quite get the safety car restart he wanted. Around the outside, Dimitri will go. It's all happening. There's cars everywhere. It's hard to follow. Look at all of these cars battling around as we restart under safety car. There's plenty of fresh tyre differences, soft and medium differences. It's
There
all
was front
happening.
wing flying off there.
Nathan Monks, I think that'll be his front wing, because he was well off track there. Not sure whether he just got up the back of someone. So he finds himself down the back of the field.
Oh, no.
So without a front wing, he's had to recover his car and get back on track and gets an absolute whack from Codemasters.
No. That is slammed. Magnifique. After leading as well, he's down. He was leading the start of this lap.
Yes, he was.
And he's down to 17.
What happened there?
Oh no.
We missed that
Things
one.
have gone from bad to worse for him.
Anyway, we'll jump back up the front.
no, we're not going three wide.
Turn one, surely. Yes,
No
we are, Tom
way.
Riley. Let's get in there.
Oh.
No, Zachary Smith manages to do it pretty easy on those new soft tyres. He is a classy driver. He is a previous championship winner and showing his pace there. Just goes bang and goes up to P5.
Nick Randell's around at the centre S's too. Oh, and so is Magnifique.
Oh, it's all happening now.
Here.
But I tell you what, Zachary James, the cream of the crop.
Oh, what a save from Kyle Jackson. It was on the grass on the inside and
He
just
managed
managed
to hold
to hold the car.
But yeah, Zachary James on those nice soft tyres has gapped Jaden Chair and Alex Bowen and Ben Curtis and everyone at the
Jaden Chair's a sitting duck here. Tyre difference on a track where tyres really do have an impact on your lap time and your overall race as a whole. He just couldn't get the exit that he wanted compared to Dimitri Forrest. He was able to carry more mid-corner speed and get the power down nice and early. And he's just going to sit in the slipstream here. Should get DRS this time by. So if he sits in behind, he'll sit in behind for
hello,
a
Alex
lap.
Bowen up
But
the
hello.
inside.
As you do, if you don't mind. They're going to go side by side. Dimitri Forrest can't quite get on the power as early.
Alex Bowen.
Alex Bowen through. Zach Smith's going to get involved here as well. So they're going to go.
Dimitri's been mugged. Dimitri's been dead set mugged in that first sector. He's lost 2 positions. He's not willing to give up on it around the outside, but he's going to have to. And now puts himself under pressure from the AlphaTauri of Weatherburn behind him. Absolutely mugged, Dimitri. Unlucky for you. But Smithy showing his class here. He's cruising through the field at the moment. He's chasing after the other Zachary, who was a second and a half out the front of Jaden Chair. And we have a good test case. Jaden Chair actually doing really well up there in P2, I would suggest, because his partner in crime, Ben Curtis, is dropping down the field at a rate of knots. He's in P9 at the moment, so Jaden Chair doing very well, regardless of the tyre diff. Doing well to hang on to P2 at the moment. We'll see how long that lasts. He's got Alex Bowen, Zachary Smith, Dimitri Forrester, Mitch Weatherburn, Hong Yi Wang all behind him. That is a very strong field. Wouldn't like being on the inferior tyre. There goes one. Alex Bowen right past him on the straight. Easy does it into turn 1. So Jaden Chair down to 3rd now. We'll have to see how many of these spots he can hang on to with 5 laps to go. With all of those drivers behind him on soft tyres, you would think it's going to be a task. So that is an Alpine, I think. That's not Torterra again, is it? Back there in between.
Safety car.
Oh, it is. It's not, it's Jeroen. It is Jeroen Pass who is DNF there on the straight between turn 3 and 4. So we see another safety car. Jaden Chair currently in P3. All these soft runners just getting the chance to protect their tyres a little bit. Who does this shake out very well for? It's Alex Bowen, in my opinion, on the 7-lap-old softs. He would have loved the chance to just extend the life of these tyres a little bit. Up there in P2, gets to hang on to the back of Ogold for 2 laps for free. And he's got that buffer behind him of the medium runner, Jaden Chair, who will bottleneck Smithy and Forrester for a little while after the resume. So Alex Bowen in a really good position here to move on to P2. Zachary James currently leading the field, obviously in the best position. 5-lap-old softs. Clear air. Plenty of battery. 20 laps to go. He will be loving life up there in P1. Zachary Smith also obviously doing very well after the last resume. Currently in P4.
It's everywhere on this track, so I don't think we're going to see green flag running this lap now, but I would think probably just 1 more lap under safety car. That'll be what we have to run. We'll find out when it crosses the sector 3 line though.
Jeroen. Jeroen's popped in the chat. Unlucky, mate. Not sure what happened there. All we saw was your stagnant blue dot on the straight. And we didn't get to watch your accident, so you didn't get it on stream. That's nice. But no, we never like to see you DNF, mate, so unlucky for you tonight. But you're not the only one who has DNF'd here tonight in Brazil. Plenty in Tier 2 and Tier 1 alike, so living up to its name is Brazil. Always very spicy when we come here. So, yes, we will get one more lap on the safety car. Alex Bowen will be hoping for 2 or 3, I would suggest, but probably just the one. One Fleek, Andre McLeod and Nathan Monk's all scurrying around the final sector now, looking to close those gaps. Kingston's done pretty well to recover a handful of positions up there in P10. Ethan Small also gaining 6 positions in this race, right behind him in P11. Zachary Smith, classy performance from him so far, up 7 positions in P4. But this man, up 4 positions and currently leading, will be the most happy.
Well, so I don't think there's any question marks around his result tonight, wherever he finishes. Not after last week, which still hasn't been decided. With everything that happened with his wheelbase and his pedals not being calibrated and whatnot. So
something going on in the Mercedes garage, because we saw Tom Malone last race couldn't get his hardware together either. So the Mercedes boys maybe just need to pop into a team speak on Thursday night, make sure they've got all their gear working before they turn up for the race weekend.
yeah, absolutely. Of course, no race this week. The next Sunday is purely dedicated to the Bathurst 12-hour, which will be an absolutely incredible event, I'm sure. Full weekend of it.
Day,
Team
yeah,
challenges, support categories, and qualifying on the Saturday night. Here we go. Zach James is going to hold them for as long as he can. Doesn't want to give Chris Bone the benefit of the slipstream. He's going to hold them all the way to the line. He goes just before start of the group boxes. Gets a good jump away from Alex Bone though. Lots of no real 2x2. There are some 2x2s further back in the pack. Not much going on though.
Crossed up,
Caden Chia here. He'll be looking for that move.
but on medium tyres.
Can't break quite as late, so Alex Bone will just run away with it. But he's got to defend from Zach Smith as well. Now 3 laps are running here. Zach Smith here, he's got the good run through that corner. Can't get it done. Have to look around the outside. Can he crisscross back underneath? Not quite close enough. Difficult spot to get an overtake done.
Jaden Chair defending well there.
Zach James absolutely gapped Alex Bone already. 1.3, 1.4 second gap. So he'll be looking to extend that. That's good. He'll be outside DRS when we get back to DRS running on the final lap of the race too. So we'll open up lots of options for people. Deployment used for Zach Smith. He'll have to try and defend here if he has anyone making a move. Jaden Chia, he makes a move on him anyway. So that's a good result. Dimitri Forrest will stick in behind here. He'll try and get a good bit of slipstream, good bit of action. They're moving up and down the straight. Zach Smith makes his one defensive move to the inside. Dimitri Forrest looks up the inside.
And too wide.
Yeah.
How about Mitch Weatherburn here? Looking to take advantage. Just can't quite find the traction. He does find the traction around the
It's
outside.
a bit of a question mark on track limits, but either way, Codemasters won't tell him to get the position back. Greg Weatherburn, his brother is up here as well. He's looking around the outside. Hong Yi here, gonna stay up the inside. Hong Yi looking for a move on his teammate, and he gets that done around the outside, does he? He does. What a move that is. Connor Kingston, and he's up another spot after the safety car. Got P9. Here we go, final lap of the race. Zach James has 1.4 seconds over Alex Bone. He's outside DRS. Jacob Weatherburn picks up 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. More track limit warnings, so he'd already had a penalty. He gets another one.
Every car within 3 or 4 seconds of each other here with 1 lap to go. You couldn't ask for a spicier finish.
Absolutely not. Connor Kingston here. He's fighting with Kyle Jackson, trying to get his position back up to P9. Oh, he tries to send it up the inside. Don't know if he got that done. He's still along the side. Got clear. So he'll hold on to that position, you'd think, through the middle sector. Zach Smith, though, he's up right behind Alex Bone. Couldn't ask to be any closer on this last lap. Hong Yi battling with Mitch Weatherburn. Jack Weatherburn still in behind him. Jaden Chairs being the blocking this lot from making any progress. Good job from him. Led a couple of the opening laps with Ben Curtis on those softs, making the mediums work, but Zach James has converted from great position to win this race. Alex Bone holds on for P2. Zach Smith will take P3. Mitch Weatherburn takes
tight to the
P4.
line.
Hong Yi and Jaden Chair loses 2 spots in all of that. Jacob Weatherburn picks up another 5-second penalty. There's a bit of contact there as well from the AI drivers. So, by the way, but that's everyone across the line. Zach Smith picks up driver of the day. Well done to him. Absolutely, certainly well deserved.
Nice work, O'Gold. Take a bow. That's why you're our championship leader, and you will extend it tonight. Champagne everywhere. Very nice performance in race 2. Excellent result. Alex Bowen from P8 did very well, but Smithy, driver of the day in that one for me. And for Codemasters as well, up from P11 into P3. Mitch Weatherburn P4 and Hong Yi in P5.
Connor Kingston managed to work his way up to P8 after some penalties as well.
Did very nicely for himself up there in P8, yep.
Up 8 spots, so that's another great performance from him. Kyle Jackson, Ben Curtis, Ethan Small, Robert Wenzel. He picks up 6 spots. Juan Afik, Nick Randell, Jacob Weatherburn, Andre McLeod, and Nathan Monks, our 3 penalty receivers. Nathan Monks picks up fast lap of the rate, though, on an 8 flat. That's a good job from him. And Jerome Pass and Kenneth Ang, that's unfortunate for them.
I love the 108-0-0-0. That just does it for me.
Absolutely, doesn't it?
Gets me a little bricked up when I see that sort of symmetry. I love it.
Yeah. Well, another night done.
T1. Pleasure once again, Tom Riley.
Absolutely.
Enjoying your work. Had a good little chat tonight with the new liveries and cars coming out for 2022. Mate, I love how across of that you were. You informed me. You let me know what was happening.
We try. Of course, this week we've got Sprint Series Wednesday and Thursday nights for AP and Thursday nights for...
No, well, we won't have the Sprint Series this week because we've got Bathurst coming up.
You are right. So disregard
taking a break. Get around the rookies. The rookies put up some streams on their Tuesday night, so get around the rookies, have a little look at them go around Bathurst, and they will be a little taster before we all head to the mountain this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Tom's already laid it out for you. There's support races happening everywhere. So, massive week coming up in Octane Online Racing. But until we head to Portugal in 2 weeks' time, Tom Riley, pleasure as always.
As always, JC, pleasure is mine.
And to everyone who popped into chat tonight, much love to you. Thank you very much for coming. We're looking forward to seeing you through the week. But until then, have a good one and stay safe.
Catch you later.
Thank you.